that our people are facing. And we must not allow South Africans to be duped and to be misled by those who want to foster instability in our country. And we will not allow that.
Ramaphosa says law enforcement agencies are ready for the demonstrations.
Security forces in our country are going to ensure that there is no instability and there's no disruption of the lives of our people. But government is continuing the interventions that we announced.
Meanwhile, in KwaZulu-Natal, the provincial government is warning that the number of Malawian citizens seeking repatriation may increase as many want to leave because of the planned protests. Premier Tamintuli and other government officials visited Sherwood Hall in Durban yesterday, where thousands of Malawians have been camping.
When we already have 10,000 people plus here, you don't know how many will be here tomorrow and next week. We might have more coming into this place. And it's important that we expedite whatever initiative that is being actually done.
The NPA says it remains committed to handling the case involving media personality Molemo Jub Marohanye fairly and impartially. It has confirmed that Marohanye was released on 5,000 Rand bail yesterday after bringing an urgent application before the Johannesburg High Court. The TV presenter was arrested on Sunday and charged with allegedly pointing what the NPA describes as an object likely to be mistaken for a firearm as an e-hailing driver in Edenvale. In court, Marohanye argued that his rights had been infringed by delays in bringing him before the Germiston Magistrates Court. He said he was initially scheduled to appear on Monday, but his court appearance was later postponed to today. NPA Gauteng spokesperson Makgaboke Matlolane.
The court granted bail of 5,000 rands and the matter has been postponed to 22 June 2026 in the Germiston Magistrates Court for further investigations. The NPA remains committed to ensuring that the matter is dealt with fairly and in accordance with the law.
And South Africa's agri-sector says the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz is a relief following at least 3 months of uncertainty. The waterway in which 20% of global oil and natural gas is shipped was closed following US and Israeli strikes against Iran in late February. The disruption of the Strait of Hormuz triggered a global agricultural crisis by restricting vital supplies of fertilizer and natural gas from the Persian Gulf. US President Donald Trump declared the opening of the strait on Sunday when he announced that a deal with Iran had been reached to stop the war. Economist Tabile Nkunjana says the reopening of the channel reduces pressure on logistical and supply value chains.
Opening up the Strait of Hormuz is such an important news. And I think that is going to even open up, a lot of the global chains that have been being choked by the war that is happening presently in Iran.
Gold is trading at $4,332.31 an ounce. The rand is at 16.19 to the dollar, 21.74 to the pound, 18.80 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $78.94 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 South, Montana Park, the city of Tshwane. This is between the N4 exit and Sefako-Makgatho. That's due to roadworks. They expect about a 20-minute hold up. Then if you're traveling on the R80 towards the Pretoria CBD, do expect delays between the R55 and Eskom-Pahlele Drive. This is due to peak time delays.
And in your sport, in the World Cup, Lionel Messi scores a hat-trick. Mbappe and Haaland scored 2 each as there was victories for Argentina, France and Norway. Just kicked off Austria against Jordan. Springbok coach Rassie Erasmus give debuts to Riley Norton and Carlos Sadu against the Barbarians, with teenager Vusi Moyo on the bench. And at the Women's T20 Cricket World Cup, the Proteas are taking on Pakistan tonight. The defending champions New Zealand have yet to win in 2 games played.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng, Johannesburg starting at 7 degrees, peaking at 18, Pretoria 9 and 19, Vereeniging 5 and 19 degrees as well. The top story in EWN this hour, President Cyril Ramaphosa says planned protests against irregular migration may be unnecessary because government is already addressing concerns raised by disgruntled South Africans.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
We're calling on Joburg to walk the inner city with us. In 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
6 minutes after 6 o'clock, it is Wednesday, the 17th of June, the year of our Lord, 2026. Welcome to the program. My name indeed is Bongani Bingwa. On our menu today, we are looking at the continent's growing battle against the LGBTQ plus community. Of course, Africa is the continent with the most number or the highest number of countries around the world, but many of them have criminalized being queer and, in fact, are enacting legislation that is going to be even more severe. We're also going to be looking at the issue of unemployment. As you heard in Eyewitness News Now, the president says the planned protests against irregular migration are also unnecessary. We'll look at that issue as well. And then we'll tell you how the How Train is going to make your participation in the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk just a little easier.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 minutes after 6 o'clock, my name indeed is Bongani Bingwa. And of course, as always, there's an entire team of producers behind the scenes helping to put the show together. And my colleagues Amoramila and Muteo are with us in the studio. Good morning to you two.
Very good morning, Bonds.
The president spoke yesterday. Protests against irregular migration, he says, are not necessary. It was a little reminiscent. Do you remember when the former speaker, Nosiviwe Mapisa Ngakula, in dismissing the DA's moonshot pact, says, I'm hearing about this thing, moon. Kalendale moon. Right? Is the president being a little dismissive when he says the concerns raised by disgruntled South Africans around migration are being addressed? So there's no need for any protest on the 30th of June. Nationwide demonstrations, of course, are planned by various groups to march against the presence of undocumented foreign nationals in South Africa. Is this something that you think could explode and blow up in our faces? Or are the stern warnings from the president and various ministers to be taken seriously? One of the issues he addressed yesterday, of course, it was Youth Day, was this real challenge with youth unemployment. Muteo, you will have noted some of what he had to say yesterday, the president, around youth unemployment. The Business Day today is explaining that young people aged 20 to 29 hold only 4% of the total national consumer debt. They make up only 10% of people with credit in this country. Now, of course, many of us who are perhaps a little older have had bruising battles with credit. I think the first time I opened store accounts, I was 21 years old and I had an Edgar's account. I remember I bought Inu West, which was one of the fashionable fragrances at the time, and you got a free umbrella. It was yellow and blue with a wooden handle, and I thought I had arrived. And of course, I battled to pay off that credit. I remember buying furniture on hire purchase because I didn't know how these things worked. And once I paid off, it was a bedroom suite. And once I paid that off, I never, ever, ever again went for store credit. But a lot of young people, like myself, assume that credit is only ever a bad thing, right? We're not educated about how to use credit so that it helps you have access to real credit worth having when you need it later on in life. But it's also, I think, an indication of where that 45% youth unemployment stands. That's why I don't think it's because young people don't want the credit. It's because they can't access the credit. And I think lenders will be a lot tighter, unsure how long can this person hold on to their employment. Right? The president offered some solutions yesterday. But I do want to bring to your attention some of the comments that have been made around this. Yesterday, cabinet ministers and politicians attended various celebrations, as you can imagine, to mark 50 years since the 1976 Soweto uprising. I'm going to play you an exchange, because it's not really an interview, but it's an exchange outside one of these events at the Hector Peterson Museum in Soweto. SABC journalist Samkela Maseko is speaking to the minister in the presidency for women, youth, and persons with disabilities. She's also now the acting Minister of Social Development, by the way, following the dismissal of Sisisi Dolashe. This is Minister Sindisiwe Chikunga. Well, I want you to listen to what she had to say in answer to his questions.
You've got a SETA sector that needs a complete overhaul, in the words of the president. Where are the artisans? Where are the plumbers? Where are the bricklayers? Where are those whom will ultimately use their hands in order to do the work? Where you find that it's currently a lot of illegal immigrants working within that particular sector within the country, and we don't have people working, bricklayers, we don't have welders, we don't have plumbers that we used to have, particularly in those early years of the 1990s going up to the 2000s.
I don't know whether we had them in my area. We didn't have among the black community, I can tell you now, today. Maybe we had in the white communities. We didn't have in my community any bricklayer, anyone in South Africa.
Huh? I'm sorry. Huh?
Isn't this generation the one that was meant to study things like bricklaying, things like agricultural studies, planting, and what have you?
We had those things. That's the point. We had. There were schools where you could be trained to do some of the, you talk about, there were agricultural schools, all those agricultural
Vocational
colleges.
skills,
Right? But welders, plumbers, electricians, bricklayers. She says we didn't have bricklayers. Muteo?
Maybe she didn't hear the question properly, because I don't know, because how do you then explain the many houses around you in your community? Who do you think built those? I mean, we still had subjects like woodwork, and you did a lot of vocational skills back then, and you'd have colleges that were specific to particular skills. So I don't really understand what the minister meant there.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. It's difficult. Have a listen to another minister, another cabinet minister yesterday. This is now the minister in the presidency, Khumbuzo Ntshavheni, speaking again outside the Hector Peterson Museum, being interviewed on Newsroom Africa this time. Listen to what she has to say about youth unemployment and where the jobs might come from.
The youth of 1996 must say 50 years later, we are going to make sure that economic opportunities in South Africa are for South Africans, and they drive the economic development of this country so that we can deal with unemployment. There's no government that's going to create employment. Government will create opportunities for economic development and economic growth, and the youth must take the matter into their own hands and make sure that
All right, I think we cut that off a little too early, but nonetheless, she says the youth must take matters into their own hands and create their own jobs. Government's job, or government's role, is only to create conditions that will arise or at least lead to employment. The question, obviously, I mean, she's not wrong in terms of how governments generally ought to be the ones creating conditions where businesses can thrive. She's not wrong about that. But with what skills? If we look at a scenario where 46% of young people are unemployed, surely that is the biggest indictment on the education system through which we have put those youngsters. Because what it says is that whatever we have taught them has not equipped them to be able to provide skills that the market wants. How are we going to fix this problem? That's our big interview coming up.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
It's a quarter after 6. I've got a question as always. I want to know in our shout out this morning, I'll start with you on this. Who would you be most afraid or nervous to give unrestricted access to your phone? And tell us why.
A teenager in my life. Any teenager in my life who is as close.
Ooh.
So between the ages of 15 and 19,
Yeah.
that's a very critical age, and I wouldn't give them an access to my phone or even ask them to help me out with maybe whatever problem that I might be experiencing, if it is banking or whatever, because I've seen many cases where, in fact, I've heard of many cases where either my mom or my mother-in-law would complain about a friend of theirs who was, maybe robbed by their own children, who is in their teen years, who maybe they've asked for help for, maybe internet banking, and then months later, money is gone out of their accounts, and of course, because the child is still a child, they will account and say, oh yes, I used the money, I did this and that and the other. Or you just see their lives just, living the life, and you're like, where are you taking this money from? Because, as an adult, you can see that there's irregular use of money or access to money. And then they say, oh, I used Google's account to buy this, or, So
really?
I'm not giving any teenager my password.
It's funny you should say that. I know a friend whose child... I think she thought the child was going to play, what's that game? Roblox.
Roblox.
Oh, not Robocop. That's something else. Roblox, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mom, can I... Roblox? Yeah, sure. Next thing, kid is ordering flights to fancy destinations, and by the time she gets the phone, it's all booked. She couldn't reverse it. She could not reverse it. And the kid was just playing. It's not that the kid ever intended to go to those places. She just thought, oh, this would be nice. Click there, click there. Muteo?
Monopoly money.
That's what she thought, very clearly.
For me, it's anyone. It's anyone because, and I'll give you a reason. Like, if people were to put some of the groups that you have on WhatsApp on a
billboard,
on a slide, and we get to look at the things you say. I don't think I want anyone to have access to my phone, firstly, but a stranger as well, because of banking apps and things like that, because you can get cleaned out. So, yeah, I worry about things like that.
All right. 072-702-1702. Send us a voice note. Who would you be most afraid to give unfettered, unrestricted access to your phone? And tell us why.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
I'll explain that coming up. And, of course, the other big news overnight is the release of TV presenter Mulimo Jub Marohanye, and the NPA now saying that it's committed to handling the case involving him fairly and impartially. You remember, of course, he was meant to appear on Monday. News of his arrest broke out on Sunday. He was meant to appear in court on Monday. That was delayed and postponed to Wednesday, which would be today, and it's understood he applied on an urgent basis for release. And one of the things that I think is quite curious is that on Sunday we understood he was charged with discharging a firearm, and now the NPA says, well, actually, he's being charged with brandishing an object likely to be mistaken for a firearm at an e-hailing driver in Edenvale. And of course, it's important to note that you could just as severely be punished for brandishing the real thing as well as you might a fake one.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
Muteo, you've got a question of your own?
Yeah, I want to know this morning from you and the 702 landers, has your fast food consumption been affected of late? Is it because of pricing?
Yeah.
Is it because you're eating healthier?
Yeah.
Or taking certain pills that don't allow for you to eat that kind of food? Or are you the type of person that says, I love my fast food and I'm still willing to spend money?
Sometimes it's just, especially if you've got a household of people, you can't buy for yourself, right? Or for two people.
I know of parents who
because there are three or four other mouths that are waiting. Think of a little mama bird with the little chicks.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, most of the above, perhaps not quite the pills, but most of the above. Yeah, price.
It is getting pricier.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. You've got to think twice before you. Oh, can I order? Dad, can I order? No.
Oh, definitely because of the finances. I mean, I have a little bit of a bigger family than Bongani's, so you're looking at spending quite a fortune when you buy takeouts. And instead of buying maybe 2 times in a row, maybe we'd buy once a week or once a month. And also, I want for my kids to eat home-cooked vegetables as much as they can right now in their early ages. Because there's going to be a time when I'm not going to be able to choose or feed them, You
learn all sorts of tricks, Mateo. We now make the best nachos in the house. We make the best pizza in the house. So if sometimes we have to have those things, we'll make it ourselves.
702.
Weather.
This weather report brought to you by Subaru. gravel, potholes, mud, or whatever the road turns into today, Subaru's got you. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. Temperatures maxing at 18 degrees in Joburg. 19 is your high in both Pretoria and Vereeniging. It's the same in Gqeberha. Cape Town and East London and Mahikeng max out at 20. That's the same for Mbombela and Polokwane. Bloemfontein has a high of 17.
The forecast says sunshine, but Mother Nature had other plans. Life changes, the weather turns. Little voices in the back still hoping you'll say yes. And you do, because beneath you there's a different kind of certainty in every turn and every stretch of road ahead. You don't worry about the weather. Instead, you get to enjoy every moment and every memory. That's not just confidence, it's love. Subaru carries you through life's weather. Fall in love with Subaru's all-weather confidence. Book a test drive on subaru.co.za.
EWN Traffic.
21 after 6, this EWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. And you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask them for 500 Rand. Amo?
Well, Bongani, we start in the city of Tshwane, heading towards Montana Park. We've got delays on the N1 South. This is between the N4 and Tsifakumakhato exit. It's due to roadworks taking place along this route. Please be on the lookout there. While traveling on the R80 Mountain View, delays between Bremer and Eskiampatlele Drive. Peak time delays there. Then heading towards Joburg via Midrand, the N1 South, queuing traffic between Olifantsfontein Road and New Road. And traffic lights are out of order in Crowthorne at the R55 and Main Road. They're also out in four ways at Monte Casino and Winnie Mandela Drive, but pointsmen are on duty there. If you do see anything else on the roads, we're on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Things people stress about in traffic. Number 49. What's that random warning light that keeps popping up on my car's dashboard? Oh, the mystery. Well, with the Outsurance pointsman on your route, at least the traffic is one less thing to stress about. The Outsurance pointsmen have been easing traffic congestion so we all get to where we need to be quickly and safely for the past 20 years. With Outsurance, you really always get something out. In partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
When you can see what others don't, you can do what others can't. Nedbank is more than just a bank. We're a growth partner because we understand that real success happens when you're looking ahead, spotting opportunities others miss, and planning for tomorrow, today. Think bigger. Think Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently. Nedbank. We're licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
It's that time of the year. Sore throats, congestion, wet and dry coughs, pain and fever. For trusted relief for you and your family, ask your pharmacist to recommend a winter survival pack from the Adcock Ingram OTC range. With products like Medikil A, Expigen, Corenza Parac, Adco Napamol, Dilinct Junior and more, we have you covered this winter. Remember, Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave.
The world's best male and female paddle players are coming to South Africa. The historic Premier Paddle Pretoria P1 will be at Sunbet Arena Times Square from 26 July to the 2nd of August. Expect world-class action, unbelievable energy, premium hospitality, and an atmosphere unlike anything South African sport has seen before. This is Africa's biggest paddle tournament ever, and tickets are selling fast. Don't miss your chance to witness the sport's biggest stars in South Africa. Get your tickets now at primemediaplus.com.
On Sunday, 26 July, the entire city unites for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk. Walk the Talk. And because Joburg is more than just a city, we'll be walking for the people. So join us and help make a difference to homelessness in the city by entering on primemediaplus.com and donating vouchers.
Donate a voucher.
Which is a cashless way to give, helping people experiencing homelessness access a hot shower, a meal, a bed, or more support. Anybody can join and everybody can donate. 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the City of Johannesburg. Enter and donate now on primemediaplus.com.
702.
Add your voice.
Have your say.
Let's walk the talk.
Hi, Bongani Tabiso. I just listened to the clip. Is this our leaders? No. No, guys, South Africans, we need to be serious. No. We can't be led by people like this. These guys have no clue what they are talking about, what they are doing. No.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
25 after 6, things you need to know at this hour. I've been asking the question very simply. Who would you be most afraid to give unrestricted access to your phone? Would it be your boss, your siblings, other family members, your partner, your children? It's a predicament facing Hawks Major General Ibrahim Kadwa, who is fighting to get his cell phone back after he was seized during his recent arrest. Kadwa claims that the device contains highly sensitive information. He says it has state secrets, and he argues that the police had no warrant they had a warrant to arrest him, but rather not to take the phone. It's escalated now, of course, because the phone has been reportedly handed to the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, which is investigating alleged corruption and criminal infiltration of our law enforcement. The officer who arrested him is quite clear that the law does allow him to not only arrest a suspect, but to take possession of anything that the suspect may have that may be believed to have aided in the commission of a crime. And this general says, no, you can't have my phone because it has state secrets. What secrets does your phone have? How old were you when you got your first formal credit? Experian, the credit company, says they've got a report that says young South Africans are missing from the formal credit market. People aged 20 to 29 make up nearly a quarter of South Africans' adult population, but they only hold about 10% of all credit accounts. Doesn't that indicate to you where the unemployment figures really are? French car maker Renault is shifting gears into defense. The company has partnered with military technology firm Thales to develop a new hybrid military 4x4 called the 4 Troop. They're also going to be producing Tutatis kamikaze drones with a target of 1,000 units per month by 2027. The Obamas, President Barack and Michelle Obama, unveiling a new portrait of themselves. This is ahead of the opening of the Presidential Center in Chicago. What's interesting is, of course, they commissioned artist Njideka Akunyili Crosby. This is the Nigerian artist, and she uses a signature photo transfer technique to embed archival images directly into clothing and background of artwork, and it's an absolute stunner. And on this day in 2008, Katy Perry released her major label debut album, One of the Boys, marking her transition from gospel music to mainstream pop. The album's breakout hit, I Kissed a Girl, became a global sensation, and it sparked controversy for its themes, whilst of course launching Perry into international stardom. And it was worth noting because until this moment, she'd been a gospel singer.
702.
The newspapers.
Sfiso Zulu, what's grabbing your attention in the papers?
Good morning, Bongani. Well, one story that's really caught my eye is Pixar's latest film, Toy Story 5. While it's a family movie, critics are calling it one of the most emotionally challenging films for parents. It follows 8-year-old Bonnie, whose parents buy her a tablet to help her make friends online, they're raising questions about screen time and social media and childhood loneliness. So the conundrum of the parents is that in one side, they're buying this child this tablet and they want her to have friends and make friends online, right? Because kids nowadays don't play together. But now they're concerned because she might be exposed to online abuse, so it's the conundrum that parents are facing in this digital age, because Toy Story basically is about a child who plays with their toys and they speak to the child, but now it's on the digital side of things. So there are concerns about being exposed to the dangers of online.
Be present. I've already snagged two of the stories I mentioned from the business day, the one about young people and credit, and the general who refuses to part with his device. The Citizen has a report on children being abused in South Africa. That's their lead story, and the Sowetan, lots of tributes for the jazz icon Abdullah Ibrahim.
EWN Business.
No more fast food, Mutero. Is it because we're eating healthy? Is it just too expensive? Lost the taste for it? Or do you still love your fast food? What prompts the question?
Well, Bongani, one of the largest fast food groups in the world, Yum Brands, is letting go of Pizza Hut. That particular chain going for $2.7 billion. That's 43 billion rand. Private equity firm Long Range Capital will acquire the brand outside of mainland China for $1.5 billion, while Yum China Holdings will buy the mainland China operations for $1.2 billion. Now, the parent company behind KFC, Taco Bell, and Habit Burger and Grill says the decision comes after a prolonged period of difficulty for Pizza Hut, a name synonymous with casual dining in America. Now, Yum first revealed it was exploring a potential sale in November of 2025 following several quarters of declining sales. The drop in performance has been driven by intensifying competition from what they call the pizza wars with Domino's, Papa John's and Little Caesars. Now, inflation has also remained sticky in the US with prices high, which means the spend on fast food has also dropped. Yum Brand says more customers are also taking GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic, Wegovy and Mounjaro for weight loss, and some customers, of course, looking for healthier options. So that's made things a little bit difficult for them. For the first quarter of 2026, the parent company Yum Brands reported a total revenue of $2 billion, representing a 15% increase year on year. Within that portfolio, KFC remains the dominant driver, generating over half of the company's divisional operating profit. So they've decided to let go of the pizza part, which is not doing so well.
How they suffer, hey? How they suffer because we won't eat fast food. Where's the rand?
16 rand 18 cents against the US dollar, 18 rand 79 against the euro, 21 rand 69 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $4,332 an ounce, or platinum at $1,793. Brent crude now at $78 a barrel. More business after 7.
Straight to the news desk we go. Sviso Zulu once again. Oh, an awful story coming out of Mpumalanga.
That's right, Bongani. Good morning. The body of Zenande Chilwane has been found in the Crocodile River following a 9-day search. Search teams made the discovery yesterday after Chilwane was reported missing when a car he was traveling in plunged into the river earlier this month. The bodies of two other occupants, Vigo Godfrey and Tintswalo Koza, were found along the car on the day of the crash. The police's Jabu Ndubane says Chilwane's body was positively identified by his family.
The dead victim was found on Tuesday, 16 June 2026, at about 3 kilometers away from the spot where the car and the two other victims were found. The members from the SAPS Search and Rescue Unit have been working tirelessly from the day when the incident was reported.
Convicted paedophile Ian Wares is expected to be sentenced in the Wynberg Regional Court today for the sexual assault of a former pupil at Rondebosch Boys Primary School. Sentencing was postponed in May after Wares' new attorney requested additional time to prepare medication arguments and obtain a social worker's report. The 86-year-old was convicted of assaulting the victim, known only as Stephen, while teaching at the school in 1988. Stephen was a 12-year-old grade 5 pupil at the time of the abuse. Ntutuzelo Nene reports.
William Fulland took over Wes' defense in May after former attorney Ben Matthewson left the law firm representing him. Magistrate Vanessa Miki granted the defense a 5-week postponement to finalize preparations ahead of sentencing. Wes remain out on bail. He also faces 90 charges in Scotland relating to the alleged abuse of more than 60 boys more than 5 decades ago. The state has urged the court to bring the matter to a close at today's hearing. Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
The Western Cape High Court is expected to hear an urgent application today involving outdoor retailer Cape Union Mart. The business is seeking an interdict against the Palestine Solidarity Campaign related to protests outside its stores. The protesters are accusing the company of being complicit in the Gaza conflict by allegedly funding organizations connected to the Israeli military. Cape Union Mart says it wants to stop the campaign from also making defamatory claims claims about its executive chairperson, the campaign's coordinator, Yusuf Shikta.
The matter is still being heard, but we feel confident in South Africa that no court will allow a suppression of freedom of expression, especially now at a time when, around June the 16th, we fought and died for the Constitution and the constitutional protections that we have.
And G7 leaders are expected to discuss the security risks posed by AI and social media on the latest day of their summit in France. The three-day summit of the leaders of Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, Britain and the US has focused intensely on Trump's deal to end the war with Iran and efforts to pressure Russia into brokering peace with Ukraine. But today, the digital sphere will take center stage, with some European G7 members weighting more security in moves that have irked the United States. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of 5 and 7 degrees, peaking at highs between 18 and 19.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 South in the city of Tshwane between the N4 exit and Sefako-Makgatho. That's due to roadworks. While traveling in Germiston, queuing traffic on the N3 North. This is between the Elands Interchange and Van Buren Road.
The top story this hour: the body of Zinande Chilwane has been found in the Crocodile River following a 9-day search in Mpumalanga.
That's Fani before he got naked. Fani's insurance premium went up for no reason, irritating him more than when the boys ignored the really funny meme he posted in the group chat. What? So Fani got naked. He got comprehensive car insurance and a way lower premium in seconds on the Naked app. Go Fani. Get a car and home insurance quote now at naked.insure and see how much you can save when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Evolution doesn't wait. Introducing the Chang'an Uni S. Unexpected, unmistakable, uncompromising. Engineered to a higher standard, unlike anything in its class. Unsurprising, really, from China's oldest automaker. Trusted by 30 million drivers worldwide. And at $4,999 per month, it's an unbeatable offer too. Chang'an Finance, T's and C's apply. Visit chang'anmotors.co.za for more. The Chang'an Uni S.
Chang'an, driven to evolve.
Hey guys, this is Robert Marawa, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. Playing responsibly is part of the winning strategy. Make smart choices and continue to score. If you or someone that you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling Toll-Free Counseling Line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
On the next Money Show, we'll unpack fresh financial results with Lawrence Rapp, the CEO at Bukile Property Fund, and Kobus Gertenbach, the CEO of the Premier Group. Your shapeshifter will speak to the veteran journalist and author Max Dupree about his new book. Your consumer ninja, Wendy Nola, locked, loaded, ready to take on your toughest consumer battles. Plus, as always, we bring you expert analysis of the day's biggest business stories.
The Money Show
On 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Grootes is brought to you by Absa Rewards. Get double cash back depending on your rewards tier when an African team scores and wins at the FIFA World Cup 2026, courtesy of Visa. Use your Absa Visa card at rewards partners on match days to score. Join Absa Rewards on the banking app. Your story matters. Absa is an authorized FSP and a registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Coming up in the next hour, What's the Question? Is brought to you by Outsurance. 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. You send us an answer based on something that piqued your interest during the show. Win 1,000 Rand for that. You WhatsApp us your name and the answer to 072 702 1702. Later on, someone else will ask a question to win 2,000 Rand. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance.
702
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Morning, Bongs and the team, 702 Land. Bongs, I would definitely not give my phone to a teenager, just like Amu. I think teenagers, I don't want to say are dangerous. Actually, the word I'm looking for is dexterous. I think teenagers are quite dexterous with these gadgets than adults. I mean, a teenager can do damage on your phone in a minute than an adult would. in a minute. I think as adults, we're quite slow. We take our time. You don't want to give your phone to a teenager.
Good morning, 702 listeners and the 702 team. Hope you guys are nice and warm this morning. I would not want my crush to have access to my phone. Just saying. I'd be horrified if that were to happen.
Morning, Bongani. Bongani, with my phone, I think not anyone. The reason I'm saying this, in today's world, your phone is like your electronic diary. So imagine giving away your diary. Not anyone. Tabangi.
Gauteng Hawks head Major General Ibrahim Kadwa doesn't want to give the Madlanga Commission his phone, or at least the password to his phone. He says it contains state secrets. You remember, of course, he was arrested in May following his arrest, and it's a case related to a breach of the Precious Metals Act. It's understood he was allegedly involved in helping a diamond smuggler.
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, the competition is intense. Who is going to be the one to score the most World Cup goals?
It's going to be an exciting one.
Messi and Mbappe, I suppose, are in the front of that.
Yes, and Erling Haaland, because he also scored 2 last night. So, yeah, the defending champions, Argentina, yesterday, opening with a 3-0 win over Algeria. But Messi will be leading that because he scored all 3 goals in Argentina's win. In the later part of the second half, it was France who waited for 3-1 win, 2 goals off the boot of Mbappe. And Erling Haaland, on his World Cup debut, scored twice in Norway's 4-1 win over Iraq. Here's Haaland.
It's about continuing and don't think too much. It's difficult at this stage, but focus on next and, of course, be happy, but also stay calm.
The game between Austria and Jordan on the go at the moment, where after 38 minutes, Austria leads Jordan 1-0. Springboks have 2 debutants starting against the Barbarians this Saturday, Locke Riley Norton and Prop Carlo Sadi. The bench is split in 6 forwards and 2 backs. Debutant bench warmers hooker JJ Kotza, loose forward Paul de Villiers, and 19-year-old Vusi Moyo at fly half, while starting at fly half will be Kieran Horn. Here's coach Rassie Rasmus.
Can he play 10-15? Hopefully in future that will help with 6-2 splits and the assistant coaches, all of us really see something special in him when it comes to 10. And then Vusi on the bench, I must say he's one of the guys that really caught the eye, I would say, in this 2 weeks. Very calm, physical, big kicks, really without effort.
Kick-off on Saturday's 3 p.m. at the Women's T20 Cricket World Cup today. The Proteas are taking on Pakistan at 7:30. Wicketkeeper Sanelo Jafta.
Yes, luckily we've got an amazing coach who kind of thinks ahead for us. If anything, he's just asked us to just remain present. We all know that it is tournament cricket, anything can happen. But for us as a team, we just want to focus on what we do well. And whatever opposition we face, we always stick to what we do well as a team, which is kind of unify. And on the given day, we just focus on the game plan.
Shock for the defending champions New Zealand, who've made it 2 losses from 2. Yesterday losing to Sri Lanka by 5 wickets. Sri Lanka chasing down 151 with 2 balls to spare, while the hosts England beat Ireland by 4 wickets. Men's test action today. England with a 1-0 lead going into the second test with New Zealand. Joe Root leads England after Stokes and Atkinson were dropped for breaking the team's curfew. Key bowler Ollie Robinson is out injured. And in tennis, the Williams sisters, Venus and Serena, will compete at Wimbledon this year in the doubles after receiving a wild card injury. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
South Africa, your vote starts with registration.
Register to vote.
This Saturday and Sunday, the 20th and 21st of June. Make sure you're registered to vote or check that your voter registration details are up to date.
To register where they ordinarily reside.
Whether you're registering for the first time or confirming your voting status, visit elections.org.za for everything you need to know. And stay informed with 702, Cape Talk and EWN for the latest updates, analysis, and developments throughout the registration weekend. Register, check, be counted.
Johannesburg is calling Sunday, 26 July. Thousands of Joburgers. 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk. Proudly partnered by Standard Bank. Walk the historic streets of the CBD, starting and finishing at Ellis Park, and celebrate a city on the rise. Growing, evolving, and full of possibility. Listen, this is more than a walk. It's Josie coming together. Register now for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk. Standard Bank is an authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
This winter is a cold one. Keep the heat in and the cold out with Cash Build. Save on electricity and keep your home warm with our top quality ceiling insulation. Plus, upgrade to our energy efficient geysers and geyser blankets to keep your water hot for longer, especially in the mornings. Don't turn into an ice block this winter. Head in-store to your nearest Cash Build for quality insulation and energy-efficient geysers. Cash Build.
Hi, this is Teko Modise, Hollywood Bets brand ambassador. Be a winner who knows when it's time for a timeout and play responsibly. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling Toll-Free Counseling Line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bets supports responsible gambling. No person under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Hi, my name is Nikhil. I'm 12 years old and I go to Grayston Prep. When I am older, I would like to become an engineer.
That's Amanda, before she got naked. When the power tripped, Amanda felt more helpless than when her mom-in-law called her lasagna different. So Amanda got naked. She got car and home insurance at a lower premium and can now call an electrician anytime via the Naked app. There we go. Cover your car and home now at naked.insure and see how easy insurance can be when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Doing your famous through meetings, in traffic, at the store. Don't let seasonal hay fever get in the way of a better you. Unite against allergies with Demazin once a day, providing 24-hour non-sedating relief from symptoms like a runny nose, sneezing, and itchy red eyes. Demazin gets it done. Speak to your pharmacist today about Demazin once a day.
In today's top stories:
trade tariffs,
droughts,
housing crisis,
the Middle East,
AI,
fuel crisis,
hunger crisis.
Current affairs affect your financial future. Unpredictable times call for a disciplined financial partner you can trust to deliver real value consistently. Reliable, trusted. Whatever hits the headlines, it's what makes us proudly predictable. Visit psg.co.za. Affiliates of PSG Financial Services, a licensed controlling company, are authorized financial services providers.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Citroen. Visit your nearest dealership this June. Test drive or purchase any Citroen and stand to win an all-expenses paid world-class rugby experience to South Africa versus New Zealand on the 5th of September. T's and C's apply. Amo?
Well, Bongani, we've got roadworks taking place on the N1 South in the city of Tshwane, and they're causing heavy traffic volumes between Sefako-Makgatho and the N4 exit. And if you're traveling in Mountain View, trying to avoid that backlog there, you'll still be met with traffic volumes along the R80 east towards Eskom Pahlele Drive, coming out of the hairpin bend. I'll have more traffic updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Good morning, Mzansi. It's a beautiful Wednesday. It's Thursday. No. TGIF, am I right? Citroen Super Saturday is back. Yes. Test drive or buy any Citroen and stand to win a world-class rugby experience. South Africa versus New Zealand, 5 September. Double your entries with the all-new Citroen Basalt from 354,900 Rand with up to 40,000 Rand deal assist. Book at citroen.co.za. Runs till 30 June. T's and C's apply.
Whatever the year, it's still the same trusted We Buy Cars since 2001. So whether you're buying or selling, We Buy Cars makes the process simple and seamless. Simply visit webuycars.co.za to complete the Sell My Car form for an offer, or browse through thousands of vehicles of all shapes and sizes. Ready to buy, sell, or trade in? Visit webuycars.co.za or one of their branches nationwide.
Attention! Are you 18 to 30 years of age? Is your bedroom giving basic? It's time for a transformation. Cash Build's Pimp My Room is back. Selected contestants receive 10,000 Rand for a room makeover, plus amazing advice from our expert partners. The winner walks away with a big prize of up to 60,000 Rand to finish their renovations. Follow Cash Build on social media to get one step closer to your dream bedroom. cash bill.
The pain of losing a loved one is never easy. It will leave you feeling overwhelmed. At Clientele, we understand that burying loved ones with dignity truly matters. Our funeral plans pay out cash within just 24 hours, and you receive 200 Rand airtime when you claim to make those important calls. Plus, we cover up to 13 people on one plan. SMS funeral to 31586. That's 31586. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
The 702 Josie, my Josie, Walk the Talk is calling on you to walk with the people, for the people, Sunday, 26 July. But why don't you get a taste of what it will be like? This Sunday, Josie, my Josie is having another Main Street Sundays, taking over Marshalltown and flipping the script on how Josie moves. One whole street in the heart of the city, close to cars, just people vibes and that Main Street magic. And 702 Soulful Sunday with Kenny and Pushaza will also be there, broadcasting live from Main Street Sundays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Go to josiemyjosie.com for all the details and grab your free tickets. And let's show what happens when the streets belong to the people. It'll also allow you to register for the Walk the Talk at Main Street. Enter now at primemediaplus.com and get ready for the 702 Josie, my Josie, Walk the Talk, hosted by the city of Joburg.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Give away some money now, shall we? Today's contestant is Nikhil, who is 12 years old, goes to Grayston Prep and wants to be an engineer. Nikhil, good morning to you. What do you want to build for us later on in life?
Good morning, Uncle Bongani. Later on in life, I'd like to build a underground tower, which would help people transport quicker.
Oh, listen to you. Look forward to seeing that. Now let's play the Whiz Quiz. True or false? Names like mohawk, bob, braids, and ponytail refer to hairstyles.
True.
Correct. Complete the saying, money doesn't grow on what?
Trees.
Correct. What animal's name is used for a black and white road crossing?
Zebra.
Correct. What is 300 divided by 3?
100.
Correct. At which sport will fans likely blow vuvuzelas?
Football.
Correct. True or false? Oxygen makes up more than 70% of the Earth's atmosphere.
True.
It's false. In which country does the Nile River flow into the sea?
Skip.
Egypt. What is the hottest planet on our solar system?
Venus.
Correct. What parts of speech are the words I, we, and you? Are they pronouns or verbs?
Pronouns.
Correct. Spell the word address.
ADDRESS.
Correct. We'll give you that. We'll give you that one in time. Very well done, Nikhil. You get 800 Rand, 8 correct answers. Remember, of course, it's 100 Rand for each correct answer. Get all 10 right, you win 10,000 Rand.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz
On 702.
702.
The Africa Report.
7 minutes to 7. The Africa Report is looking at a growing tide across the continent as states enact legislation that makes it even more difficult for queer communities around Africa. Tradition and culture. What's African? What is not? Dr. Jamil F. Khan joins us now, a scholar and research fellow at the Johannesburg Institute for Advanced Study. Appreciate your time and thank you for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me, Bongani.
We are seeing, already, of course, being queer, and I'm going to use that as the broad term, being queer is criminalized in many African countries already. That's nothing new. But we're seeing almost a tightening, if you will, of laws, not only around practice, but around identity and even expression.
Yes. Well, I think it's important to understand what all of this does, right? So when we criminalize identity and advocacy under this type of legislation, it undermines the rights to dignity, to privacy, to equality before the law, to freedom of expression and association and assembly, all of which are recognized both in Ghana's own constitution and in regional instruments like the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. So when we think about this, there are three big dangers that we need to be looking at. The first is the crime of status, right? So simply identifying as LGBTQ or being perceived as such can expose you to being believed despite posing no harm to others. Then the second thing is also that crimes of speech start coming into play. So when you're offering counseling or legal help or health information or even expressing support can be treated as promotion. This constrains everything from journalism to healthcare to human rights work and advocacy. And then the third point is that's important to look at is the way that selective enforcement gets made possible by vague terms like proper human sexual rights or family values. So this gives huge discretion to police and prosecutors, which almost always falls hardest on poorest and most vulnerable people. So at a legal level, you move away from the idea of equal citizenship and you move toward a tiered system where some people's rights are conditional and revocable, and this really should worry us all.
We're talking, of course, in light of Ghana taking new laws, particularly the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill, which is meant to strengthen penalties around same-sex relationships. And as you say, not only for people who are in those relationships, but people who are allies and supporters. The idea is not new, though, Dr. Khan, the idea of protecting African culture and religion. What is the hand, you think, behind this intensifying of legislation like this?
Well, yeah, as you say, Bongani, so Ghana's bill is part of a wider pattern that we're seeing across several African countries, but not only in Africa. So, but if we stick here for a minute, it's, you know, politically, these laws are often used as a cultural war tool, if you will. This is a term that people use. So leaders present themselves as the defenders of African values against supposed Western moral decay. But some of the most aggressive anti-LGBTQ messaging and drafting support, however, comes from Western evangelical and conservative networks, particularly from the US, who provide the language, they provide the legal templates, and they provide the funding for this. So regionally, we then also start seeing policy replication. So provisions that you would first have seen appeared in places like Uganda, like Nigeria, and Senegal start re-emerging. Niger is another recent example following Ghana now. Sometimes almost verbatim in new bills. So that shows also there's a transnational infrastructure behind this, and it's not purely homegrown. The timing of this also matters because the bills tend to surface or accelerate at moments of economic hardship, of social pressure, or political contestation. In South Africa, we would know very well what happens just ahead of elections, during corruption scandals, or when governments are struggling to deliver, which many of them are. So when you target a vulnerable minority as a way to manufacture consensus, you then get to distract from bread and butter failures. And it also then coincides with a very real and present turn towards reconfigured forms of colonialism and authoritarianism across the world, where people are being increasingly surveilled and restricted through security partnerships that spring up between African countries and Europe.
You talk about this being transnational. There are also moves afoot so that this gains momentum, particularly this African Charter on Family Sovereignty and Values at the African Union.
Yes. So there's definitely, like I said, there's of course coordinated efforts. But if in light of what I just said, right, where there is definitely greater cooperation between African governments and Europe, as well as some African governments and countries like Israel, for example, which we know have got interests in advancing agendas of colonialism. You start having to then question also what kind of legislative, but also just sort of social direction people who then claim to abide by documents like the African Charter actually are interested in.
Just explain the involvement of the Israeli government. You alluded to it. I wasn't quite clear what you meant.
So when we talk about, for example, recently the leader of Somaliland, for example, went and had a meeting with the government of Israel. What I'm talking about is that Israel as an example of a country that pushes the upholding of Western values alongside countries like the United States, alongside other kind of European states, in relation to a growing sense of collaboration between African leaders and European leaders that bring us ultimately to conversations that we are having that we are having today.
Right, we'll have to leave it there. Dr. Jamil Khan from the University of Johannesburg.
7:02.
Coming up, the big interview.
President says we need to address the urgent problem of youth unemployment. He's made some proposals. He's got some ideas. Can they work? That conversation after this Eyewitness News.
This is EWN.
Gayton McKenzie says he's more measured on immigration issues now that he's a minister.
I'm sitting at the table where decisions are being taken. Now you want me to still run around? But is that not madness?
And the NPA vows to continue with an investigation against Jub Jub. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Patriotic Alliance leader Gayton McKenzie has denied claims that his stance on undocumented foreign nationals has changed since he became minister. McKenzie has been accused of changing his demands for people who are in the country illegally to leave since his appointment. He spoke to EWN yesterday on the sidelines of the Youth Day commemorative events in Soweto. Alfara Mushwana reports.
Before the 2024 general elections, Patriotic Alliance leader Gayton McKenzie spearheaded the Abahambe movement, which called for undocumented foreign nationals to leave South Africa. He was also involved in a controversial operation at the Beitbridge border, where he was seen confronting people attempting to cross South Africa from Zimbabwe. McKenzie has recently been accused of softening his stance on illegal immigration since becoming minister. McKenzie has, however, rejected those claims, saying he has adopted a more measured and mature approach.
I'm sitting at the table where decisions are being taken. Now you want me to still run around? But is that not madness? That is stupidity. But you want me now to leave cabinet and then leave cabinet and go stand outside? Mama Hamble! I can't deal with stupidity.
He says he's not opposed to the upcoming protest on the 30th of June, but is against any use of violence. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Soweto.
In Durban, while Home Affairs officials insist the Malawian government is responsible for transporting its citizens to their home country, thousands are calling for help. Malawians have been camped outside the Sherwood Hall in Durban, waiting to be repatriated before the 30 June protest against undocumented foreign nationals. Nhlanhla Mabaso reports.
After the Malawian government pleaded for financial donations to transport its people who have been living in the country illegally, those camping here in Sherwood have turned to the South African authorities. Just when the official convoy of some government officials left the site yesterday, some started making demands.
We need to go home. Make a plan for us. This can't be too much money. They must make a plan for us. They must make a plan now. They need to go. They must make a plan for us, please. We need to go. Yes.
One of the demands was directed to the president himself.
Ramaphosa, send the buses here. Send the buses here. We need to go.
Hundreds have already left the country, mainly women and children. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News, Durban.
The NPA says it remains committed to handling the case involving media personality Molemo Jub Jub Marohanye fairly and impartially. It has confirmed that Marohanye was released on 5,000 Rand bail yesterday after bringing an urgent application before the Johannesburg High Court. The TV presenter was arrested on Sunday and charged with allegedly pointing what the NPA describes as an object likely to be mistaken for a firearm at an e-hailing driver in Edenvale. In court, Marohanye argued that his rights had been infringed by delays in bringing him before the Germiston Magistrates Court. He said he was initially scheduled to appear on Monday, but his court appearance was later postponed to today. NPA Gauteng spokesperson Mahaboke Mahlatole.
The court granted bail of 5,000 rands and the matter has been postponed to 22 June 2026 in the Germiston Magistrates Court for further investigations. The NPA remains committed to ensuring that the matter is dealt with fairly and in accordance with the law.
And President Cyril Ramaphosa has urged African leaders to renew their commitments and accelerate action on the Ebola crisis. Speaking at a high-level virtual African Union meeting on the crisis yesterday, Ramaphosa emphasized solidarity, stronger health systems, and urgent investment in Africa's own capacity to respond to health emergencies. He also announced that South Africa is increasing its financial pledge to support the fight against Ebola. 808 cases, including 192 deaths, have been confirmed since the outbreak last month in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Nkosikhona Malingamnisi reports.
President Cyril Ramaphosa opened his remarks recalling that nearly $500 million in pledges had been mobilized since the last gathering and stressed the importance of converting those pledges into real support, whether in cash, medical supplies or technical assistance. Ramaphosa announced that South Africa is raising its contribution to $13.5 million, underscoring the country's commitment to frontline health workers and the fight against Ebola.
With no vaccine or antiviral, every day that transmission continues unchecked, the human cost just rises. That is why our response must focus on breaking the transmission and stopping Ebola at its source.
Sikhona Malingamnisi, Eyewitness News.
Gold is trading at $4,323.63 an ounce. The rand is at 16.19 to the dollar, 21.74 to the pound, 18.79 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $78.75 a barrel.
And in the traffic traveling in Linksfield, we've got a delay along the N3 North. This is between the Glulies interchange and Linksfield Road while heading towards the Fourways area. Do expect delays on the N1 South between Woodmead and the Rivonia Road exit. That's due to an accident there.
And in your Sport Live, FIFA World Cup action on the go where Austria leads Jordan 1-0. Last night, Messi, Mbappe and Holland all lived up to expectation as there was big wins for Argentina, France and Norway. Springbok coach Rassie Erasmus names Kewan Horn at fly half for Saturday's game against the Barbarians. And the Proteas women in action tonight at the T20 World Cup. They're taking on Pakistan.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. Johannesburg is at a low of 7 degrees, peaking at 18. Pretoria, 9 and 19. Vereeniging 5 and 19 degrees as well. The top story in EWN this hour. Patriotic Alliance leader Gayton McKenzie denies claims that his stance on undocumented foreign nationals has changed since he became a minister.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Joburg is more than just a city. It's an energy that connects us all.
That's what makes this one so special.
In 702, Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the city of Johannesburg. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 7 o'clock, you're listening to 702 Breakfast. I don't know about you. Sometimes I just think I have no idea how to explain how some of our leaders think. So, Swisa Zulu has just played an exchange between EWN reporter Alpha Ramoshwana and Gayton McKenzie, who is, of course, the leader of the Patriotic Alliance, but also a minister in cabinet. He was one of the faces of this hashtag Abahambe, hashtag they must go. This is all about the foreigners who are undocumented leaving South Africa, right, being chased out of the country. Gayton McKenzie, in that clip, says, I'm now at the table where decisions are made. You can't still expect me to run around, essentially being a rabble-rouser. So he admits that all along, that's what he has been doing. And now that he's at the grown-ups table, well, he better behave like one. How do you take a politician seriously who thinks like that, who actually says that quiet bit out loud? The president yesterday at pains to make clear that come the 30th of June, there will be no forced migration of people or forced interventions outside of the law. Yesterday, the president, speaking at the 50th anniversary celebrations of the Soweto uprising, he was at Nasrec Stadium. Have a listen to what he said.
Well, I have intervention measures that are being taken to address the concerns of our people. And as I announced the other day when I addressed the nation, I outlined a number of interventions that we are taking. And those interventions have largely been welcomed by our people as immediately effective and important steps that we need to be taking to ensure that we have people in our country who are fully documented. So, as I said, no South African must take any action against any person from any of our African sister countries.
So I want to play you now a clip from one of these organizations that are busy confronting what they believe are illegal immigrants. This is the leader of Insizwa, Ngobunsizwa Development Foundation, One Gosikona Ndabandaba. He's now known as Pagelum Tagat, right? He's confronting a migrant, and in this clip, in this exchange, he just randomly goes to an individual on the street asking, who are you, where are you from? The very thing the president says ought not to be done. And the reason I play it is that this is a clip, this is an incident that occurred in May. The president has since then repeatedly said South Africans shouldn't do this. It is quite a shocking moment, but what is being done about it?
Where are you from? Where? Huh?
DRC.
So what are you doing here? Because we've been calling for you guys to leave the country. Why are you still here?
I was not told for children.
No, my brother. No. Please, respect what we are saying and don't try and oppose what we are doing. Don't listen to the government, don't listen to the police, don't listen to anyone. Just listen to us. We are saying this peacefully. Please go to your country. 30 June is the deadline, but it's not like you must leave on the 30th of June.
Yes.
Don't leave on the 30th of June. Leave now, because the 30th of June, I can't control people of South Africa. All right.
I think we've heard about all as that we need to hear, but the point I'm making is these organizations are brazen. They're not trying to hide what they're doing. The president keeps making speeches. He had a special address to the nation where he said this ought not to be done by citizens. He says, leave law enforcement in the hands of the police, of those who are paid and trained and mandated to enforce the law, not private citizens. And so the question is, when he says come 30th of June, it's not necessary to have demonstrations and law enforcement and security services will be ready to deal with what occurs then, the big question is, why haven't they dealt with what has happened already?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Things you need to know at this hour. The African Union's planned mid-year summit in Egypt has been delayed over concerns of Ebola and how that outbreak has reshaped the agenda. The postponement has also temporarily paused a growing tension or point of concern among African leaders around migration and movement on the continent. Diabetes officially now becoming South Africa's leading natural cause of death. In 2023, an average of 78 deaths were recorded a day due to diabetes. Health experts are saying rising obesity, poor diets, and sedentary lifestyles and late diagnoses are driving the crisis. Born on this day is our First Lady, Dr. Tshepo Motsipe, a qualified medical doctor. She also studied medicine at University of KwaZulu-Natal, later earning a master's degree in public health from Harvard University. She's worked in public health and healthcare, including Chris Hani Baragwanath, and she is an active voice for early childhood development. She's married to the president and, of course, is the sister of businessman Patrice Motsipe. And on this day in 2006, Shakira earned her first #1 hit with Hips Don't Lie.
My hips don't lie, and I'm starting to feel it's right. All the attraction, the tension. Don't you see, baby, this is perfection.
Hey girl, I can see your body. Up next,
The Big Interview.
EWN Traffic.
14 after 7, this EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask Outsurance for 500 Rand. That crash on the N1 South, Amo?
Bongani, it's causing heavy delays coming out of the Baku interchange towards Rivonia Road, so heading towards four-ways could be problematic this morning. Speaking of four-ways, we've got delays along Winnie Mandela Drive between Witkoppen Road and Leslie, as well as on Main Road and Witkoppen Road. Obviously, traffic lights are out of order there, and that's the reason for this backlog. While traveling on the N1 South, or rather the N1 North, delays between Malibongwe Drive and Winnie Mandela Drive. I'll have more updates. Do stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Outsurance can't improve your golf handicap, but they could improve the car insurance premium you currently pay. Get a quote today, and if Outsurance can't save you money on your car insurance premium, ask for 500 Rand cash. Make that 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years. Get a quote and get savings or cash. Either way, you win. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
As you already know, the iconic 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk returns on the 26th of July at Ellis Park in Johannesburg. Thousands of walkers taking to the streets of the CBD. Now, things like this don't happen without great partnerships, and Standard Bank is proud to partner with the 702 and Josie My Josie for this year's Walk the Talk. It's a partnership built on a shared commitment to community connection and the continued revival of the city. From supporting urban renewal initiatives like the Field of Dreams sports facility to investing in safety, lighting and public spaces, Standard Bank remains committed to driving meaningful change in Johannesburg. So thousands of participants are going to be walking past the historic streets of the CBD, unified by a shared vision of a safe, clean and thriving city. Visit primemediaplus.com for more. The 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk in partnership with Standard Bank, a licensed FSP and registered credit provider.
In life's most challenging moments of loss, compassion can be your greatest comfort. You shouldn't have to face the financial burden of losing a loved one by yourself. Rest assured, Clientele's funeral plans pay out cash within 24 hours. You can cover up to 13 family members on one plan, ensuring all your loved ones are taken care of, and 3 children are covered at no additional cost. With Clientele, you're not just buying a plan, you're also buying peace of mind. When the time comes, you will need to make important calls with your 200 Rand airtime you will receive when you claim. Plans offer double accidental death cover, as well as transport, grocery and unveiling benefits. Apply today, it's easy. There are no medical examinations and no paperwork. SMS funeral to 31586. That's 31586. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Ready to take the next step towards your future? Study with one of Africa's leading distance learning institutions. Whether your interests lie in agriculture and environmental sciences, business and management, accounting, humanities and communication, or law, policing and criminal justice, UNISA offers a range of selected qualifications. Why wait until 2027? Applications for the 2026 academic year are open until 17 June 2026. Visit unisa.ac.za/apply. UNISA, define tomorrow.
It's your last chance to enter the Nedbank Business Ignite on 702. Entries are closing soon. This year, we're celebrating entrepreneurs who turned personal challenges into businesses that make a real difference. Catch 702 Breakfast with me, Bongani Bingwa, every weekday morning to meet the finalists and hear their inspiring stories. You can go to igniteyourbusiness.co.za or primemediaplus.com to enter. You could win 200,000 Rand. And the recognition your business deserves. T's and C's apply. Nedbank, see money differently. An authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
On to this now. The president was quite emphatic yesterday. 1 trillion Rand over the next 3 years. This is infrastructure investment, rebuilding South Africa. And he says the biggest beneficiaries ought to be young people. He wants to address one of the country's biggest crises, which is youth unemployment. He says the money will go into roads, rail, schools, hospitals, clinics, electricity lines, ports and dams, and with it, of course, jobs, apprenticeships, and skills development opportunities for young people. I've got 2 guests who are joining us this morning to help us understand this issue and to unpack it. We are joined, first of all, by Thembi Chakonda, who is the joint CEO of the Global Business Solutions, but also a commissioner at the Employment Equity Commission, representing the voice of business, if you will, and Zanele Sabela, who is the spokesperson for the Congress of South African Trade Unions. A very good morning to you both, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Good morning.
For having us, Longan.
I want you to both listen to two moments that took me aback yesterday. You'll remember, of course, it was celebrations all around the country, the 50th anniversary of the Soweto uprisings, and therefore various ministers and politicians attended some of those. Yesterday outside the Hector Peterson Museum in Soweto, and I played this clip a little earlier, but I think it's worth repeating. The SABC reporter Samkela Maseko, he tweeted this. He speaks to the minister in the presidency for women, youth and persons with disabilities, and he asks a very simple question. What happened to all those artisans and all those skills we used to have? Why do we have this problem with youth unemployment? Have a listen to their exchange.
You've got a SETA sector that needs a complete overhaul, in the words of the president. Where are the artisans? Where are the plumbers? Where are the bricklayers? Where are those who will ultimately use their hands in order to do the work? Where you find that it's currently a lot of illegal immigrants working within that particular sector within the country, and we don't have people working, bricklayers, we don't have welders, we don't have plumbers that we used to have, particularly in those early years of the 1990s going up to the 2000s.
I don't know whether we had them in my area. We didn't have among the black community, I can tell you now, today. Maybe we had in the white communities. We didn't have in my community any bricklayer, anyone in South Africa.
Minister Chikunga, they're saying in her community there were no bricklayers and welders and people with those skills who are able to obviously create employment for themselves. At the same venue, just outside the Hector Peterson Museum in Soweto, minister in the presidency, another minister in the presidency, this time Khumbudzo Ntshabeni, explaining what needs to be done to create jobs for young people. She was speaking to Newsroom Africa.
The youth of 1996 must say 50 years later, we are going to make sure that economic opportunities in South Africa are for South Africans and they drive the economic development of this country so that we can deal with unemployment. There's no government that's going to create employment. Government will create opportunities for economic development and economic growth, and the youth must take the matter into their own hands and make sure that
Right, I think again we cut that a little too early. She goes on to say that young people essentially must create these job opportunities for themselves. Government can only create the conditions in which they can do so. The obvious question to ask, Daniela, I'll start with you, is surely part of the reason we have such a high unemployment rate amongst young people, 46%, is that many simply do not possess skills that the market wants or needs.
Yes, Bongani. Actually, the situation is much more dire than that, because when you look at young people between the years of 15 to 24, the unemployment rate there, when you include people, discouraged job seekers, it goes up to about 70%. And so there has been that there is a mismatch of the skills that they hold against what the business, the private sector actually needs. And you have seen how last week the Minister of Higher Education has said that, there are qualifications that need to be scrapped because they're just not fit for the world that we're living in. And so there is that, but then there's also the fact that there are some who are not in employment, not in education, and not in training. And part of the situation that we have here in South Africa is when we get the matric results, we just look at universities and we forget about the TVET colleges and how to make those very fashionable and to speak about them. And then we say, the universities can take only about 500,000 of these young people, and then the rest, that's the end. But then we need to then be speaking about, like you said, like Samkela was asking the minister, what about those apprenticeships? that needs to happen again. What about those learnerships? These are things that need to be happening. And in terms of that, then ASITAs need to stop looting the money and actually coming in to make sure that that happens.
Zanele, listening to those clips, a very good morning to you. Listening to those clips, I mean, how does that sit with you that we've got two ministers in the presidency on the day that the president is announcing initiatives that he says will deal, or at least help address this problem, and that's the kind of thing they say?
It is kind of disappointing. But the fact of the matter is, this 1 trillion is exactly supposed to do that. I mean, when we have, during the 10 years of state capture, we saw Eskom actually literally on its knees, Transnet, the ports were not working. And so when that money goes in, I mean, we've seen the work that's been done at Eskom, and we applaud the board, management, and the workers in particular at Eskom for bringing us this far where we are sitting. It's more than a year that we haven't had load shedding. Things are happening at Transnet. Things are happening at Metro Rail, which is also important. It provides cheap transport, especially in this time when fuel prices are skyrocketing. And so those will help. I mean, the easiest example to give you is a long time ago, Mayor Amos Masondo decided to tar the roads in Soweto. And now Soweto is a tourism hub because of that. So it does actually help to have infrastructure that works, because on top of that, then a lot more can happen. Business can come in and actually create businesses on top of it, but then also employ young people and everyone else.
Fully agree with all of that. We're focusing specifically on youth employment, and I suppose one of the questions to ask is that even if this 1 trillion is available for this infrastructure build program, how do young people access those opportunities? I mean, do programs like, yes, the employment stimulus and the National Youth Service, do you, as somebody who represents workers, do you look at that and say, yep, they are working for young people, they are shifting the needle?
There is some work that's happening there, and there have been opportunities that have, because we also used to speak a lot, which we don't anymore. We used to speak a lot about unemployed graduates, and those are the people that the YES program has leapt up, because those are the people with qualifications who couldn't get access into opportunities, and now they're being brought in, and that has actually helped. But now we need to be working with those people who don't have, like a qualification, who don't have a university degree. Those are the people that we need to now be focusing on.
All right. Tembi, do you agree? The graduates are sorted. We just need to deal now with those who don't have qualifications. Simple as that?
No, it's not as simple as that, Bongani. Good morning. So what we need to have, I think, as the speaker said, is that there is a misalignment. We need to have proper architecture in the workplace that is going to absorb the young people. It's not as easy as we have a graduate and we can just put them into our workplaces and they're working, because we're dealing with much more than that. We're dealing with businesses that are declining. We're dealing with managers that are really fighting fires to save the business. So whilst we have the graduates, we cannot necessarily absorb all of them into the workplace. Yes, we have to acknowledge the Yes for Youth programs that have been around, but I think we also need to look at the graduate programs and the Yes for Youth programs that have been around and say, how many of those 200,000 employees, or rather youth that have been in business, have been absorbed into meaningful employment. So it's not as easy as that, because we still need to ensure that the TVET colleges are bringing in quality, learners that are coming out of the system. And if we're going to rely on a hiring, I mean, it's commendable that the president has come out blankly to speak to the employers about, employing the young person who's coming into the workplace straight from university to be employed. But I think we need to look at, first of all, whether the line manager has the skill to actually develop this person, and do they have the time to be able to do this, because there is just so much that is happening in the workplace. For most of the employers, they see hiring a young person as a risk. And because we don't have a proper infrastructure and the proper architecture to actually absorb, Germany has got a system that's definitely not perfect, but if you look at it, you have young people coming straight out of TVET colleges, because the business has also done programs, and they've been involved in the program that the TVET colleges, if you like, have put in place. So when they come into the workplace,
they're ready.
They would have already been
They're
there.
ready.
Yes, they're ready.
That's the problem. I mean, I feel like the pipeline that young people are coming through, those who are lucky enough to even complete that process, is not fit for purpose. We're now almost at 5 million young South Africans who are unemployed. That is a ticking time bomb. Everybody says it, but what are we doing about it? Tembi?
And exactly that is exactly the point. I think as much as we're saying the government is, we acknowledge what the president has said, and we appreciate that. I think we need to look at the programs that are fit for purpose. We need to also look at programs that there will be incentivization. So we have the ETI. The president has also indicated that in that. But that is a monetary, but it does not deal with the capacity issue. So we need to have proper capacity, businesses that, there are quite a number of businesses that are closing down right now. If I was the government, I would probably focus on those businesses and say, how do we use those businesses, revitalize them, bring the young people to be a training ground for those young people. The question that was asked in the interviews outside of Soweto, to ask where are those people that were there, the plumbers, the bricklayers, the retiring personnel, what do we do with those individuals? I think as a country, we could actually use those individuals in the companies that are closing down. In the last 2 months, I deal with businesses. There are 2 businesses that were closing down in engineering business. And this is the area that we need, but we let the engineering businesses close down. And we closed down with all the skilled workers, the skilled workforce. And instead of perhaps let's save those businesses, let's bring those young people that need practical experience so that they can actually gain meaningful work. And the incentivization can actually be given to those particular businesses.
Look, it'll help if I have ministers who believes those skills were there in the first instance, would it not? Appreciate you both. Zanele Sabela is the spokesperson of COSATU, Tembakazi Chakonda, the joint CEO of the Global Business Solutions, but also the commissioner at the Employment Equity Commission.
EWN Business.
All right, let's look at business news now. Muteo Khwaripe, good morning.
Strong markets from the JSE yesterday, Bongani, as more money comes back into emerging markets. The JSE All Share up 2,835 points. A strong showing by mining shares. Harmony up more than 11%. Sibanya up 8%. DRD Gold enjoying gains of 7%. The Rand this morning, 16 Rand 19 cents against the US dollar, 18 Rand 80 against the euro, and 21 Rand 71 cents against the British pound. Price of gold, $4,322 an ounce, down this morning, with platinum lower by 0.5% at $1,787. Brent crude dropping by another 1%, now at $78 a barrel. I'll have more business for you after 8.
Sfiso Zulu, don't do it, says the Blue Party.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Johannesburg residents faced with the threat of power cuts could find an ally in the Democratic Alliance. The party is set to deliver a petition to Eskom today, urging the power utility not to interrupt supply to the city over its mounting debt. The move comes as talks between Eskom and the city of Johannesburg continue, with no final agreement reached. Mongezi Koko reports.
Eskom has previously warned that it could cut off supply after City Power failed to settle billions of rands owed to the utility. Electricity Minister Josienzo Ramokgopa has, however, sought to allay fears, saying Eskom remains committed to finding a solution and has shown the city some grace given its role as the country's main electricity generator. The DA says residents, businesses and critical infrastructure should not bear the brunt of the city's financial woes. Luyo Lompiti speaks for the party.
This very petition that the Democratic Alliance has put together has already received 4,846 signatures. This is what we will be taking when we head to the Eskom offices.
Party leaders are expected to hand over their petition at Eskom's Megawatt Park headquarters in Sunninghill this afternoon. Monke Zikoko, Eyewitness News.
The body of Zinande Chilwane has been found in the Crocodile River following a 9-day search in Mpumalanga. Search teams made the discovery yesterday after Chilwane was reported missing when a car he was traveling in plunged into the river earlier this month. The bodies of 2 other occupants were found along with the car on the day of the crash. The police's Jabun Dubane says Chilwane's body was positively identified by his family.
The third victim was found on Tuesday, 16 June 2020.
We apologize for the interruption of that soundbite. Convicted paedophile Ian Ways is expected to be sentenced in the Wynberg Regional Court today for the sexual assault of a former pupil at the Rondebosch Boys Primary School. Sentencing was postponed in May after Ways' new attorney requested additional time to prepare mitigation arguments and obtain a social worker's report. The 80-year-old was convicted of assaulting the victim, known only as Stephen, while teaching at the school in 1988. Stephen was a 12-year-old grade 5 pupil at the time of the abuse. And UN Chief Antonio Guterres has apologized to Haitians for what he calls their abandonment by the international community. Haiti, the poorest country in the Americas, has for years suffered from instability as powerful gangs carry out rampant killings, rapes, looting and kidnappings. Nearly 1.5 million Haitians are currently displaced in a country of about 11 million, and more than 5 million are facing severe food insecurity. The Secretary General, who last travelled to Port-au-Prince in 2023, visited a former school that has been transformed into housing for people displaced by violence. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of 5 and 7 degrees, peaking at highs between 18 and 19 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 North between the N17 exit and Albertina Sisulu Road. That's due to an accident while traveling on the N3 North. Bumper-to-bumper traffic between the Airlines Interchange and Van Buren Road due to roadworks.
The top story this hour: residents in Joburg faced with the threat of power cuts could find an ally in the Democratic Alliance today as the party delivers a petition to Eskom.
From stunning goals to stunning upsets, stay on 702, K-Talk and EWN.co.za to stay up to date on the world's biggest tournament.
Shane, do you have a sore throat? The Andalex range of lozenges offers 2 options. At the first signs of an irritated, scratchy throat, use Andalex lozenges for dual-action, soothing relief. But for a painful, inflamed throat, use Andalex C lozenges for triple-action, pain relief. Andalex, SA's #1 choice for a sore mouth and throat. Andalex lozenges are available at all leading pharmacies and supermarkets.
Just Andalex it. Let's hear from Al, owner of Johnson's Cable, why it pays to switch to OUTsurance Business Insurance.
I thought it was going to be difficult to switch to OUTsurance Business Insurance. Switching was so quick and easy. I'm happy with the premium that I'm paying now.
For electrical, tradesman services and all other businesses, get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to OUTsurance Business Insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
We asked rugby legend Francois Steyn what he thinks of the all-new Toyota BZ4X. France,
Would you say the BZ4X is a rugged all-wheel drive SUV?
Yeah.
Cool. Was the acceleration and handling good?
Yeah.
All right. So you think the BZ4X can handle South Africa?
Well,
there you have it. The all-new Toyota BZ4X, an all-wheel drive battery electric SUV made to handle South Africa. The BZ4X, it just got real.
FNB Private has just been named South Africa's best private bank at the prestigious Euromoney Global Private Banking Awards 2026. And to unpack what that means, 702 is going to be in conversation with FNB Private for a 3-part series exploring the ideas, values, and strategies behind one of banking's highest honors. Each week, John Polman will go deeper into the award itself, sustainability and investment, with experts driving FNB's private vision forward. Catch 702 in conversation with FNB Private every Thursday afternoon on Afternoon Drive with John Polman. FNB Private, your long-term wealth partner.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Morning, Bongani. The fundamental challenge we'll always have with youth unemployment is that it's beginning too late. The solutions begin too late. We can't be looking at teenagers or those entering the workforce and then trying to fix youth unemployment. The solution to youth unemployment is tackling it at the grassroots with early childhood development. Until we get that fundamental philosophy right, youth unemployment will always be a problem. Yusuf from Johannesburg.
Where did this minister grow up where there was no skills or such skills, especially among the black community? I mean, honestly, okay, let's say it was not there where she grew up. So those skills going forward must not be there because in the past they were not there. Wow. Yay, guys, the ignorance in our ministers.
Morning, Bongani and the team. You know, when I saw the clip of Minister Chukunga, when she was giving her comments about... It was for me, it broke my heart because it made me realize that we are led by some people that have no idea how to run a country and how to govern its people. Because there's no way a minister in the presidency can come there and tell the people that she has never seen a bricklayer or a plumber or a welder in her life, maybe in the suburbs, because she's breaking the people's heart. Because what are you saying?
All 7 of my uncles from when I was born, they were all bricklayers. And 2 of the 7 were specializing in roofing because it's regarded as a specialty because not everybody can perfect roofing. And then out of the 7, 2 were specialized in roofing, and 1 was specialized in plumbing. The other 1 specialized in welding. So there was a lot of trade work, and there were schools. Remember, there was a school where most of them studied, especially after I started school. There was a school that many of my brother's peers studied. It was called OD Manpower. Yeah, those schools back then, that's where they studied these trades like bricklaying, woodwork, and so on.
Trade schools, right? The importance of that in South Africa. We call them TVET colleges now, technical and vocational education and training colleges. We also, of course, have private artisanal training academies. But is it enough? And how do you have a minister who says, even if that really was her experience, then assuming it was the experience of everybody else? Is it your sense that ultimately we just get platitudes and platitudes and platitudes and really very little by way of solutions? I agree with Yusuf. We're not talking enough about the education system that must then provide the market in this economy with skilled, employable young people. And sometimes maybe we do tackle it just a little too late.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance, a chance for you to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later, 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask Outsurance for 500 Rand. Today's answer comes from Welcome, who is in Elandfontein. Welcome, please give us today's answer.
Today's answer is Chicago.
Chicago is today's answer. And tell me, Welcome, have you got yourself a quote from Outsurance?
Yeah, I do not understand properly.
I said, have you got yourself a quote from Outsurance?
Yes, I did.
Then let's welcome you to 1,000 Rand. All thanks
Thank you.
to Outsurance and 702. Welcome giving us that answer there. Chicago is what he says. What's the question? Call us if you know on 011 883 0702.
EWN Sport.
If you're a football lover, of course, you are waking up to action on the go at the FIFA World Cup.
Yep.
You go to sleep, there's a game. You wake up, there's a game.
Not always, actually. I think this is the first time we've had a game live after 6 o'clock in the morning. They generally happen at 4 o'clock in the morning, so they're normally done by now, but live on the go at the moment. Austria's leading Jordan 2-1. We'll have more for you in the World Cup desk. There's another World Cup on the go.
Yes,
It's the Women's T20 Cricket World Cup, and the Proteas are in action today. They're taking on Pakistan at 7:30 tonight. Wicketkeeper Snell Jafta on what they expect.
They are a very good team, and I think when you look at the captain, she leads from the front. Riaz has been there for a while, and the youngsters coming up, they've actually, when they toured to South Africa, they actually showed and they actually played really well. So for us as a team is to just focus on, again, what we do well and respect the opposition always.
Defending champions New Zealand are yet to win a match. Yesterday they suffered a shock 5-wicket loss to Sri Lanka. England beat Ireland by 4 wickets. Men's action today, England against New Zealand in the second test. Bowler Ollie Robinson misses the game through injury, while Stokes and Atkinson were dropped for breaking team protocol. Root captains the team. Springboks have 2 debutants starting against the Barbarians on Saturday. Lock Riley Norton and Prop Carlo Sadi. The bench is split in 6 forwards and 2 backs, including 19-year-old Vusi Moyo, who could come on at fly half. Starting at fly half will be Kewan Horn. Coach Rassie Rasmus on that fly half decision.
I think Mali's played a lot of rugby on that side. We must see Tasandra get through the game this weekend without an injury. And I think we've learned our lessons. Last year when we played the Barbarians, or it was Japan, and we got an injury to Oxen Chair. Didn't have to play Oxen in that specific game because he was match fit and everything. And then Jan Hendrik got suspended, and then eventually we had to go with Boan and Gerard, who did really well.
Kickoff on Saturday will be 3 p.m. And in tennis, the Williams sisters will compete at Wimbledon this year in the doubles after receiving a wildcard entry.
The EWN World Cup Desk. The latest scores, the biggest stories, and the moments everyone's talking about.
Well, overnight, Messi, Mbappe and Holland all living up to expectation. Messi with a hat-trick in Argentina's 3-0 win over Algeria. Mbappe scored 2 for France in a 3-1 win over Senegal. And for Norway, Holland on World Cup debut scored twice in a 4-1 win over Iraq. He doesn't consider himself the best goal scorer at the World Cup just yet.
Goal scorer, I will say I'm up there. I don't think I scored the most goals this season, so statistically, no, I'm not. Because I think Harry Kane and Mbappe scored more goals than me, and that's a reality, so no, I'm not.
Live World Cup action on the go, where Austria leads Jordan 2-1 with 8 minutes to go. Austria scored first before half-time and then had a goal disallowed as well by VAR for handball in that build-up. Tonight, Portugal start their campaign against DR Congo at 7 p.m. England plays Croatia at 10. England don't have defender Livramento after he injured his calf and has been replaced by Shalaba. Here's striker Bukayo Saka on his imminent 50th national cap.
No, I haven't even thought about those stuff, and to be fair, I don't allow myself to think about those things. The main focus right now is winning the World Cup and being my best version of myself for the team. And after my career, maybe I'll reflect on things like that. But yeah, that's how I think.
Of course, as an Arsenal fan, one of the things I love about what they've been doing on their Instagram page, they tell you whenever an Arsenal fan or a player is participating for or representing their country in the various matches. I think this is so cool.
Well, Bafana plays Czechia tomorrow night. Striker Tapelo Moseko on how they hope to get the country support back.
Something that I've picked up, and as a South African who grew up in different cultures and different environments, people of South Africa are happy when you win. That's one. When you lose, you are the worst. That's a fact. So that's the only thing. In order to lift their spirits up, we have to show something. We have to at least try to win games.
And a massive World Cup crackdown hitting thousands of deadbeat dads in Argentina. Argentine government handed a list of 13,000 child support evaders directly to US security officials. Any father who hasn't paid up his child support will be strictly banned from entering stadiums for the 2026 FIFA World
That's lovely. That's lovely.
Cindy Palita, Eyewitness News Sport.
From kickoff to the final whistle, this is the EWN World Cup Desk.
Johannesburg is calling. Join thousands of Joburgers on Sunday, 26 July for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk in proud partnership with Standard Bank. Experience the energy and spirit of the City of Gold as you walk through the historic streets of Joburg CBD, celebrating a city on the rise. As an iconic brand deeply connected to Johannesburg, Standard Bank invites you to be part of a movement that's bringing communities together and showcasing the best of Josie. Starting and finishing at Ellis Park, this is more than a walk. It's a celebration of our city and its growth journey. The 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, proudly partnered by Standard Bank.
Mzansi, get ready for the Lotto jackpot draws. This Wednesday, you have a chance to win an estimated 24 million rand total Lotto jackpot. That's a life-changing money opportunity that could be yours instantly. Catch the live draws this Wednesday at 9 p.m. on ETV and SABC. You could become South Africa's next multimillionaire. Yes, you. The National Lottery. Mo plays, mo chances, mo millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sizekaya.
Winter has entered the chat, and honestly, nobody wants that. Cold tiles, foggy windows, that one room nobody wants to sit in, and a dog who is pretty sure this is somehow your fault. Luckily, Chamberlain's winter savings are here from 18 June to 12 July. Warm up your home with great deals on heaters, firewood, anthracite, geyser blankets, insulation, paint, and more. Plus, stock up on Jog Dog food for only 398 Rand. Because they might not like winter, but they'll love that. Chamberlain, famous for hardware since 1903.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by the House of Citroen. The all-new Citroen Basalt is here. Take a test drive at citroen.co.za. What's happening in Midrand? Amo?
Bongani, there's queuing traffic on the N1 South. This is between the Brakfontein Road and Olifantsfontein Road. Speaking of Olifantsfontein Road in the Midrand area, an accident right near the N1 exit. It's causing heavy delays. Please try to use the R55 South through Blue Hills to try and avoid that backlog. While traveling in the east of Joburg, we've got heavy delays on the N3 North. This is between the Airlines Interchange and Motorfontein Road. There's also bumper-to-bumper traffic on the N12 as well as the R24 West between Barber Road and the Gilulis Interchange. I'll have more updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The all-new Citroen Basalt is here with keyless entry, wireless Apple and Android CarPlay. It's made to look good and make life easy. And that 470-litre boot, well, it's ready for every outfit change and then some. The all-new Citroen Basalt Coupe SUV from 354,000 Rand. Register now for the limited launch deal assist of up to 40,000 Rand. Book a test drive today at citroen.co.za. T's and C's apply.
If you're a fan of the beautiful game, you'll recognize this. And this. But what about this? It's your chance to score big time. Win your share of up to 2 million Rand with Standard Bank. It's game day every day. To enter, open and use any qualifying Standard Bank account, in-app or in branch. Already a Standard Bank customer? Sign up for Standard Bank Connect online to get a bonus entry. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
At the foot of the Table Mountain, life moves a little differently. Just minutes from Cape Town City Centre, the Vineyard Hotel feels a world away, surrounded by gardens, trees, and a slower rhythm of life. So whether you're escaping for a few days or extending a business trip, it's a place to step out of the rush and slow down. So this winter, take a breather at the Vineyard. Stay for 2 nights and enjoy their winter offer. Find out more at vineyard.co.za.
Work doesn't start when employees arrive at the office. It starts with family responsibilities, financial pressures, and the challenges of everyday life. And when life feels overwhelming, performance suffers. That's why Gaelo Lifestyle provides confidential, emotional, financial, legal, and well-being support for employees and their families. Because when people feel supported, they're more focused and ready to perform. Gayelo lifestyle. Visit gayelo.co.za.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance. Please tell me, what's the question? If the answer is Chicago, let's go to Tintswalo in Alex. Tintswalo, what's the question?
In which city is the Obama Presidential Center open?
Yes, indeed. And of course, just yesterday, the former president and Michelle Obama got a look at their new official portrait at the Obama Presidential Center in Chicago, and their reactions were absolutely priceless.
Hi. How are you? So nice to see you. Before we get any commentary in, we just got to soak it in.
It's us.
It is so pretty.
The oil on canvas painting, which is the first official portrait of Barack Obama and his wife, was created by the Nigerian artist Njideka Kunyili Crosby, and it will be on display in the museum's Hope and Change lobby. Congratulations, Tintswalo. You walk away with 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to 702 and Outsurance. Now, here's the thing about Outsurance. You only find out how good it is when it's time to claim, right? Well, with Outsurance, you've got peace of mind because the Ombudsman, an independent body that rules on complaints, has confirmed in their 2025 annual report that Outsurance had the lowest overturned ratio of complaints. So isn't it time you switch to the insurer where you always get something out? Call 08600 60,000 or visit outsurance.co.za today. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Hi South Africa, I'm Michael Owen. If you appreciate world-class sport and a great occasion, the Hollywood Bets Durban July is the place to be. The theme for 2026 is Country Allure, which sees the rustic style of the countryside meet the cosmopolitan cool of the city. On Saturday the 4th of July, it all comes together at Hollywood Bets Greyville, Africa's greatest horse racing and social event. I'll see you there.
Tabo's got 6 buckies running around fixing pipes, chasing invoices from Sentin to Soweto. They don't rest. But when one gets messed up in traffic, yo! That's not a scratch, my guy. No bucky, no money. But with Budget's affordable business insurance, Tabo's fleet is sorted. So when expensive days happen, his hustle keeps rolling. Visit budgetinsurance.co.za for a business insurance quote today. Budget is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
You know when your people are giving their best, not because they're pushed or pressured, but because they feel supported. And support is making sure they're covered. So if something happens, they can get the care they need. FlexiCare Health Insurance makes it simple for every business to protect their people with affordable health cover. You care, we cover. For a tailored FlexiCare quote, speak to your financial advisor today. FlexiCare is underwritten by ANG, a licensed non-life insurer and FSP, and administered by Discovery Health, a licensed FSP.
702.
702. What's gone viral?
With Kabazela.
Catch up with the world of viral content. Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Bella.
Now, there was John Vuligate, but don't close the gate. I'll let you tell the story.
That's funny. I was thinking about Vuligate just as you said it. But yeah, this is a video that's gone viral of two ladies that pull into a driveway, and they haven't pulled in pretty, all the way into the driveway, and a little bit of the car end is sticking out. So one of them closes the gate, and the gate starts closing. They both get out, and one realizes, oh, flip, it's going to hit the back of the car. So she goes and she tries to, stop the gate, but the gate keeps on coming, and she almost gets wedged between the car and the gate to protect the car. And I mean, if you think about it, that probably just was an instinct that she felt and she needed to do. But in retrospect, probably very, very stupid. Then the other lady starts realizing, oh, what's happening? And then, they manage to stop the gate and then move the car. So I'm sure many people have been in a situation where it's happened to you at your own house, or you've gone to somebody's house and they've closed the gate on your car. I remember once I closed the gates on somebody's car at my mom and dad's house when I was a youngster. They weren't very happy with me, the people whose car got damaged, but, these things happen. So let's talk about that this morning. I want to hear your stories of the car Vulligating the gate. Let's hear those this morning, shall we, Bongles?
Yeah, I'll tell mine after 8 o'clock, but they're not pleasant when they happen to you. Your gate mishap stories, send us a WhatsApp voice note on 072 702 1702.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic brought to you by Citroen. Visit your nearest dealership this June. Test drive or purchase any Citroen and stand to win an all-expenses paid world-class rugby experience to South Africa v New Zealand on the 5th of September. Amo?
Well, Bongani, there's queuing traffic on the R24 and the N12 West between Barber Road and the Kilulis interchange while heading towards Alexandra. Expect heavier traffic volumes on the N3 North between the Airlines interchange and Modderfontein Road. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Good morning, Mzansi. It's a beautiful Wednesday. It's Thursday.
No.
TGIF, am I right?
Citroen Super Saturday is back. Yes. Test drive or buy any Citroen and stand to win a world-class rugby experience. South Africa versus New Zealand, 5 September. Double your entries with the all-new Citroen Basalt from 354,900 Rand up to 40,000 Rand deal assist. Book at citroen.co.za. Runs till 30 June. T's and C's apply.
702.
702.
Feedback.
With Rupfiwa Kone.
Oh, gate mishaps. Not
One
pleasant.
too many times,
Not
Bongani.
pleasant. Yeah,
and you've
no.
got lots of those stories.
There was a time I climbed a gate because it load shedding, tore my pants.
Too
still
many
came
stories.
To work.
Too many. Since I've met you, actually. And while Bongani, listeners are also reacting to Kumbuzon Chabeni's remarks about youth being able to create their
Take
own
the metal into their own hands.
Yes. They say even though that might be part of the solution, not everybody has an entrepreneurial skill to run their own businesses. And also, they don't have the finance. They don't have the ability to do it themselves. So her remarks seem a little bit out of touch with the reality of
We'll
our
get
youth.
more reactions. I played you those clips a little earlier on. Youth unemployment. How are we going to tackle this crisis?
This is EWN.
The MK Party and the IEC will face off in court today, and the Madlanga Commission continues to probe the theft of drugs in police custody. Good morning, I am Sviso Zulu. The High Court in Johannesburg is set to hear arguments in the MK Party's case challenging the 2024 national and provincial elections. Although more than 2 years has passed since the general elections, the party continues with its bid to have the results set aside. The IEC is opposing the application, maintaining that there were no irregularities. Alfred Mushwana has more.
The IEC's election results dashboard experienced a technical glitch following the May 29, 2024 elections, causing it to go offline for about an hour. The MK Party has based its legal challenge on this incident, arguing that the vote rigging took place while the dashboard was down. The party claims that nearly 9 million votes were unaccounted for and maintains that it should have won the elections outright. However, the IEC continues to insist that the 2024 general elections were free and fair. MK Party supporters are expected to picket outside the court in Johannesburg CBD today. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
A new witness is set to testify at the Madlanga Commission today as proceedings resume this morning. The Commission has been hearing evidence on the 2021 drug bust where more than 700 kilograms of cocaine was seized in the south of Johannesburg. Evidence suggests that some police officers who were present at the scene may have broken the law. Khomozo Modise reports.
Over the last few weeks, the Madlanga Commission has been hearing evidence about the Ayrton drug bust where cocaine with a street value of about 300 million rand was seized. The Commission has questioned several police officers about their role, including Gauteng Traffic Police Chief Inspector Samuel Mashaba, questioning whether his participation in the bust fell within the scope of his official duties. Over the weekend, Mashaba was placed on precautionary suspension following his testimony. The Commission heard that Mashaba took part in the operation despite regulations prohibiting traffic officers from actively participating in high-level law enforcement operations of that nature. The Commission is expected to continue with that theme this morning as a new witness takes the stand. Khomza Modise, Eyewitness News.
The KwaZulu-Natal government is warning that the number of Malawian citizens seeking repatriation may increase in the coming days. About 10,000 Malawians have been camping outside the Sherwood Hall in Durban for almost a week now, ahead of protests against undocumented foreign nationals on 30 June. They say they're escaping those protests. Premier Tamintuli and other officials visited the hall yesterday.
When we already have 10,000 people plus here, you don't know how many will be here tomorrow and next week. We might have more coming into this place. And it's important that we expedite whatever initiative that is being actually done.
And the first tankers carrying Iranian oil have left a U.S. blockade in the Strait of Hormuz 2 days before Washington and Tehran launch talks on an agreed peace deal, still scant on details, including Iran's nuclear program and the lifting of sanctions. The talks on a final agreement or settlement are set to begin Friday in Switzerland. Negotiations over a final deal are to start immediately after the signing ceremony and continue during a 60-day window, leading to decisions on the fate of Iran's nuclear program and a plan for the lifting of international economic sanctions. Optimism that the war triggered by the February 28 U.S.-Israeli strikes on Tehran might be coming to an end and has been dented by fresh Israeli strikes on South Lebanon. Yesterday, U.S. President Donald Trump criticized Israel for attacking Lebanon over the weekend.
I saw that attack. I saw where that bomb went. Did you see what happened? That was a vicious. That was too much. You know, you can do too much also. But we've had a very effective relationship. Without us, without the United States, there would be no Israel.
Gold is trading at $4,333.17 an ounce. The rand is at 16.19 to the dollar, 21.74 to the pound, 18.80 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $78.32 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N3 North. This is between the Elands Interchange and Linksfield Road. There's also queuing traffic along the N3 South just as we come out of Modderfontein Road while heading towards Bedford View. Bumper-to-bumper traffic on the N12 as well as the R24 West between Barber Road and the Kidulis Interchange.
And in your sport, will Ronaldo be able to copy Messi, Mbappe and Holland by scoring more than one goal in his opening World Cup match? Tonight, Portugal plays DR Congo at 7. Last night, there was big wins for Argentina, France and Norway. And at the Women's T20 Cricket World Cup, the Proteas women are playing Pakistan at 7:30 tonight.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 18 and 19 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: the High Court in Johannesburg is set to hear arguments in the MK Party's case challenging the 2024 national and provincial elections.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
On Sunday, 26 July, 7:02 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk unites us all in the iconic Joburg CBD.
7:02
Walk the Talk. Abize bonke. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 minutes after 8 o'clock, we live in what they call the post-truth world, where people can just fling mud and hope that it sticks somewhere or it sticks on someone. The High Court now ready to hear arguments. Mkhonto weSizwe Party maintains that the 2024 national and provincial elections were rigged. Donald Trump still maintains the 2020 US national elections were rigged. Very little evidence can be produced to sustain both of their arguments. In fact, the US president quite often changes his mind just about every and anything. Yesterday, he was speaking on the sidelines of the G7 summit in France. You know, the one that we would normally have been invited to, but we're not. They chose Kenya this time because Kenya has been palling up to the US president. Emmanuel Macron, who was here at the G20 and seemed to be our genuine friend, is the host. Did he invite us? But Asikolapo, let's not get distracted. The big news internationally is this deal with Iran. And one of the sticking points is the continued bombardment of Lebanon by Israel. Have a listen to what Trump is now saying about his very good friend, Bibi Netanyahu.
And I suggested to Israel to let Syria take care of Hezbollah. Because to be honest with you, I think they do a better job of doing it. Without us, without the United States, there would be no Israel. Without me, there would be no Israel, because no other president was willing to do what I did. I've had a great relationship with Bibi, but now Bibi has to be more responsible with respect to Lebanon. Lebanon used to be a great country. It was a country where you had professors, doctors, lawyers. The great intellect was in Lebanon. Now it's terrible. I would say of all countries, they've been treated the worst.
Ha. Sometimes you've just got to let them say it themselves, don't you?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
9 minutes after 8 o'clock, I asked a question a little earlier on. Who would you be most afraid to give unrestricted access to your phone? Would it be members of your family, your siblings directly, your parents? Would you want them to see what goes on your phone? Your spouse or partner, those DMs, your bosses, what would they say? It comes in the wake, of course, of the Gauteng Hawks head Major General Ibrahim Kadwa. You'll remember he was arrested in May this year. It's a case related to the Precious Metals Act. And, of course, he's facing a charge of defeating and obstructing the ends of justice. It's all to do with how he is accused of essentially coming to the aid of somebody who was caught up in precious metal smuggling, right? This is a case that happened at the airport. One of the things that happened was that when he was arrested, police seized his phone and he's refusing to give the password because he says it contains state secrets. The arresting officer is very clear that the Criminal Procedure Act does authorize him to not only arrest a person, but to seize whatever that person may be in possession of if it is suspected to have been used in the commission of a crime. And that's where we are. The Madlanga Commission, of course, wants to get into that phone to find out exactly what these state secrets might be. I suspect they'll find a way.
Good morning, 702. I just want to remain anonymous. I have two girls, 17 and 27. I trust them fully with my accounts, but the 27-year-old is more independent. So the 17-year-old has full access to my bank accounts. This helps me because when I'm not around or I'm not able to do certain transactions, I just send her a message and ask her to take care of that. Sometimes there's something at home in Soweto, I'm not able to go, and she's there and she can do those things that I am unable to do.
Amu, come on, who does that? What child does that? Kids of today they're smart. They know what not to do, man. They're not like us. Come on, Amu.
Batung, why is it that when people have a different experience, they assume that is how it is for everybody else?
Everyone is living in their world. And I mean, I fully understand. If you think your daughter is the best in the world, you would assume that all children behave like her. But the reality is that that's not the case.
Just for anybody who's listening, we've been talking, of course, about people you don't want to have access to your phone. And you mentioned a couple of examples where parents have been burnt. Hey, Amo?
Where they teenagers, especially grand teenagers, used their phones or accessed their bank cards to buy stuff or to spend, to go on a spending spree. And then later on, when they questioned, because they don't have any other options, they can't lie anymore. They just say, well, I used my granny's account or I used my mother's account to buy this and do that.
Yeah, ne?
EWN Traffic.
13 after 8, the CWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask them for 500 Rand. That delays in Bedfordview. What's going on there?
Bongani queuing traffic on the N3 North between the Van Buren Road exit and Modderfontein Road due to an accident as well as roadworks. And then if you're heading towards Bedfordview, do expect heavier traffic volumes on the R24 West and the N12 West. This is between Barber Road and the Kilulis interchange. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Seeing the Outsurance pointsman on your route is like the feeling you get when you fill your tank the day before the fuel prices go up. It just makes you feel good. The Outsurance pointsmen are traffic heroes who ease congestion and help everyone get to where they need to be quickly and safely, and they've done it for 20 years. It's just another way you always get something out. This is in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Ready to take the next step towards your future? Study with one of Africa's leading distance learning institutions. Whether your interests lie in agriculture and environmental sciences, business and management, accounting, humanities and communication, or law, policing and criminal justice, UNISA offers a range of selected qualifications. Why wait until 2027? Applications for the 2026 academic year are open until 17 June 2026. Visit unisa.ac.za/apply. UNISA, define tomorrow.
We asked rugby legend Frans Steyn what he thinks of the all-new Toyota BZ4X. Frans, would you say the BZ4X is a rugged all-wheel drive SUV?
Yeah.
Cool. Was the acceleration and handling good?
Yeah.
All right. So you think the BZ4X can handle South Africa?
Wat dink jy?
Well, there you have it. The all-new Toyota BZ4X, an all-wheel drive battery electric SUV made to handle South Africa. The BZ4X. It just got real.
That's Thabo, before he got naked. When Thabo's car broke down, he did what every manly man does best. Hit things, fiddle, and hope it works. So Thabo got naked. He got comprehensive car insurance in seconds and can now call roadside assistance anytime on the Naked app. Tools down, Thabo. Cover your car and home now at naked.insure and see how easy insurance can be when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Durban is more than just a destination. It's an experience shaped by passionate people and exceptional businesses. Tomorrow, catch 702 Drive with John Pellman live from the 5th Durban Tourism Business Awards at the Durban ICC. From hotels and restaurants to tour operators and filmmakers, it's a night celebrating those who make eThekwini a world-class destination. Don't miss it. Celebrating excellence in tourism. Live tomorrow, brought to you by Durban Tourism on 702.
Every small business that dares to disrupt the industry deserves a shot at leveling up. Thanks to Nedbank Business Ignite on 702.
Well, in this year's Nedbank Business Ignite with 702, we are recognizing and rewarding businesses that are solving real problems because they've been there, they've lived them, they've seen them, and they know how to tackle them. We're talking about businesses built for real experiences where challenges have been turned into meaningful solutions. We've been asking businesses to enter Nedbank Business Ignite with 702 to stand a chance to win 200,000 Rand, mentorship, national exposure, and support beyond banking with Simply Biz. As always, Tuli Makubane, who is the founder and director of Mint Fresh Technology Solutions, our mentor, is with us in the studio. Tuli, a very good morning to you. Let's talk about today's business, Lioness Industrial Supplies. Why are they a finalist?
Good morning, Bongani, and good morning to the listeners. So as I was going through the entries, I think the name firstly stands out, Lioness, and I went through Talia's application. And what I found interesting is that she used more corporate insights, because a lot of people have been looking at their own personal pain, but she looked at a pain point within the supply chain. And having worked within the supply chain herself, she identified a niche and realized, hey, there's a gap here, and especially for a woman-owned business. So going into industrial supplies, she supplies PPE, lubricants, different oils, parts, and all of that. And I think it's one of those very technical industries that a lot of women don't go into. So for me, I think her story is slightly different, that the pain point wasn't necessarily personal,
Right.
but it was a corporate pain point.
Well, let's hear from the lioness herself. Talia is here. Talia Gadari is here. She is, of course, the creative force behind Lioness Industrial Supplies. Well, firstly, congratulations for being a finalist.
Thank you so much.
I'm just going to need you to come a little closer to the microphone. We're looking for businesses that solved a problem. Specifically, what problem did you want to solve?
Well, personally, I was unemployed for a while, so I needed to solve the problem.
That's a problem to be solved.
To get myself dependable income. So I decided to start a business. I did used to work in the procurement industry, so that's where I learned about procurement. And after that, I decided, no, let me try and do this for myself.
All right, you're a professional, you're a procurement professional. Tell us a little more about your business. What do you do as Lioness Industrial Supplies?
We sell industrial supplies, oils, lubricants, PPE. Yeah, that's
all right.
that's
And who's your main focus? Is it trying to perhaps get government tenders? Is that where
I do
your
have
focus of
a few private clients, but it's very difficult being a small company in the private sector. So I have applied for government
business
tenders, yeah, and I did secure 2 tenders. But it's still, the margins are quite tight, and but perseverance, we're here.
Why the name Lioness Industrial Supplies?
Lioness is my nickname, I suppose, because I have a bit of a temper, and I can be quite stern. If I want something, I'm getting my teeth into it, and I'm not letting go.
What has been the biggest obstacle to overcome in your industry, particularly as a woman procurement professional?
I think it would be going up against big businesses, because we're a small company, so up against big businesses. But we provide a personal approach. We're dependable. We are there for the clients all the time, at any time.
Do you find that sometimes we talk about uplifting small businesses, we talk about encouraging people to go it on their own, we talk about empowerment, particularly of women in your case, but do we walk that talk?
No, we're pretty much on our own, I think. I've tried securing financing. It's very, very difficult. Very difficult for women. For business is not just for anybody.
Yeah.
You've got to have grit. You've got to have the audacity to really walk in somewhere and say, give me consignment stock for R500,000, which is what I did. I started my business with nothing. And I had the audacity to walk into a major importer and say, you know what, I'm starting my own business. And this is just someone that I had networked with, so he knew me from the industry. Give me R500,000 in stock. I've started my own thing. And he looked at me, he was taken aback at the ask. But he said, you know what, I know you, I'll give it to you. The next day, R500,000 worth of stock was in my garage at home for me to sell.
And it was gone. The rest is
within
history.
a couple of months, the rest is history.
The rest is history. Tuli, as a business mentor, I'll bring you into this conversation now. I mean, when you look at Lioness Industrial Supplies and the background that we've just heard from Talia, how tough it is being taken seriously by both people in the industry, but also financial backers, your advice?
So you really have to be confident. I think it starts there. As an entrepreneur, you've got to believe in what you are offering and the value that you're offering. So if you walk into a client's office and you are selling a solution to them, you need to understand the problem properly and be confident that the solution that you're providing is going to add value to your client. So it's not only just yourself that you're selling, but also the solution. And when it comes to funding, I think people really forget that you have to pay back the money. So you need to be able to demonstrate. So you need to be able to demonstrate
that you can and that you will.
That the business can afford to take on the debt if it is a loan, and that you'd be able to service it.
Find it absolutely fantastic, just the variation of the finalists. We're talking quality oils, lubricants, and industrial consumables today, but who knows what the next business will be all about. Listen to the show tomorrow to find out who the next finalist is. And of course, if you've seen a problem up close, built a solution and a business that works, enter Nedbank Business Ignite with 702. Go to igniteyourbusiness.co.za or primemediaplus.com. Nedbank. See money differently. Nedbank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
702.
The Worldview.
Let's catch up with news from elsewhere in the world. John Adderley, it really has been the story of the week. This deal between Iran and, I suppose, allies, the US and Israel, but T's and C's apply.
Very much so, yes. We've had a statement from Iran's military headquarters saying that Israel has violated the ceasefire 84 times in the past 2 days. And this statement comes after Lebanese state media reported that at least 4 people had been killed in Israeli strikes in the south. The Israeli military says it had struck what it called a suspicious vehicle. But Iran insists that for any deal with the US to succeed, Israel must end its campaign and leave Lebanon. Meanwhile, Donald Trump says he's not happy with Israel after it continued attacking Hezbollah targets in Lebanon, despite this deal with Iran that was meant to stop the fighting. He was speaking to reporters at the G7 summit in France. President Trump said too many people had been killed, and Israel didn't need to knock down an apartment block every time it was looking for someone from Hezbollah. And these comments from President Trump about Israel are among his most outspoken yet, and it shows the extent of his current spat with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. For Netanyahu's part, he perhaps doesn't see that this peace deal is in his interest. So these are quite big sticking points as we approach the signing ceremony of this deal, which is expected on Friday.
How many times have we been told a US president was upset with Benjamin Netanyahu specifically, but other Israeli prime ministers? Will wait and see. Let's talk about Britain and Russia now. The Ministry of Defense investigating after a UK yacht said it was fired upon by a Russian warship.
This is quite an extraordinary turn of events. Yeah, a Russian warship fired warning shots towards a British yacht in international waters between Britain and France. Russia said one of its frigates, the Admiral Grigorovich, fired what it called preemptive shots at a yacht, a small yacht that was approaching. The Grigorovich has been in the area escorting tankers carrying Russian oil. Now, the Russian Defense Ministry says the yacht had been on a dangerous approach towards the warship, and its crew fired into its path with rifles after making several attempts to contact the yacht over the radio and after launching warning flares. The British Ministry of Defence says the shots were not aimed at the yacht and were an attempt to prevent a possible collision. So it's trying to play this down. What's thought to have happened is that this very small yacht that didn't have a motor was drifting towards the Russian warship in foggy conditions. So Britain is describing it as an isolated incident. Some have thought that maybe it could have been linked and was some kind of retaliation for the seizure of a Russian Shadow Fleet tanker in the English Channel on Sunday, but we don't think that's the case. We've been hearing the story of this couple in their 60s, Jane and Alan Kelvey, who were on board this yacht at the time. They've described the incident as surreal and have disputed Moscow's claim that they made a dangerous approach. Must have been very frightening for them, though, and a story for them to tell the grandkids.
And John, Renault adding new meaning to va va voom.
Yeah, I mean, this is quite an interesting thing. A French car company, Renault, and defense company Thales getting together to produce military drones. Yeah, a lot of vavaboom. Renault is going to use one of its vehicle factories to build aerial loitering drones that Thales already makes. These are drones that hover over a target area before striking, and they have played a central role in the war in Ukraine. The companies say up to 1,000 drones a month could be produced starting next year. They have made this agreement at a defence fair outside Paris, and it's the second partnership in defence between the two groups. They're also working together on a military vehicle. What's going on here is you've got plunging sales and increased competition from China that have led several European vehicle manufacturers, including Mercedes and Volkswagen, to move into the defence industry. It's an area, of course, where governments are increasing their spending. So there's an opportunity here, although Renault is saying car making remains its core business.
All right, we'll leave it there for this morning's Worldview.
EWN Business.
Is it the end of an era, Muteo Horipe? Anglo-American diamond mine De Beers close to being sold.
Yeah, De Beers CEO Al Cook says the sale of diamond mining unit De Beers is only a few weeks away. One of the world's leading diamond companies was put up for sale in May of 2024 as part of a broader restructuring amid falling diamond prices and the global rise of synthetic diamonds. De Beers says there's been a lot of negotiations and they are now maturing. The sale of the unit has attracted interest from the governments of Botswana, which already holds a 15% stake, as well as Namibia and Angola. The miner says there are members of consortia with companies interested in buying Anglo's 85% stake. A demand for diamonds globally has fallen in the past 3 years as marriage rates around the world have dropped. Wider mine closures in South Africa, Lesotho and Canada by the end of 2027 are expected to lead to even bigger contractions of global supply.
Oh, no one is popping out the champagne with those engagement rings anymore. How are the markets? Are they worth a bottle or two?
The JSE goes back live after the holiday we had yesterday, but after spending months on pricing in tanker attacks, a drop in production, damaged gas facilities, and the largest supply disruption in modern oil market history, traders are now suddenly betting the crisis is ending. Brent crude futures fell below $79 a barrel on Tuesday. The sell-off has been quite relentless. Brent crude now down more than 33% over the past month. The rand at this hour, 16 Rand 19 cents against the US dollar, 18 Rand 78 cents against the euro, and 21 Rand 72 cents against the British pound. Price of gold, $4,328 an ounce, or platinum is at $1,793. Brent crude now at $78 a barrel. Stephen Crotis with more this afternoon.
Straight to the news desk we go. Up next, we speak to the Gautrain. How are they going to be part of the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talks? Mr. Zulu, in the meantime, what do you have?
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. The case against alleged crime boss figure Vusumuzi Matlala will return to the High Court in Johannesburg today. Proceedings were postponed on Monday after the court was informed that accused number 1, Musa Kekana, terminated the services of his legal representative. Matlala, his wife Tsakani, and 3 co-accused faced 25 charges, including 11 counts of attempted murder linked to 3 separate shootings. One of the shootings involves Matlala's former lover, socialite and actress Tebogo Tobejane. Kosikona Malingamnisi reports.
The state alleges that Vusumuzi Matlala orchestrated a plot to have Tebogo Tobejane killed in 2023. On Monday, Matlala's legal team stated its application to compel the state to disclose additional evidence after prosecutors handed over documents and material the defense says are essential to preparing its trial. The defense's Annelief and Enhever told the court that both parties would work to resolve any outstanding issues ahead of the trial, which is scheduled to begin on the 20th of July. The court also dealt with confusion surrounding whether Tobejane had provided a statement to police watchdog IPID. Prosecutors said a misunderstanding had left Tobejane unhappy, stressing that she had never withdrawn a statement she made to investigators and had never approached IPID to make a separate statement. The dispute arose after the defense requested an alleged IPID statement in which Tobejane was purportedly said to have claimed she had been assaulted and coerced into making a false statement against Matlala. Kona Malingamnisi, Eyewitness News.
The Western Cape High Court is expected to hear an urgent application investigation today involving retailer Cape Union Mart. The business is seeking an interdict against the Palestine Solidarity Campaign related to protests outside its stores. The protesters are accusing the company of being complicit in the Gaza conflict by allegedly funding organizations connected to the Israeli military. Cape Union Mart says it wants to stop the campaign from making defamatory claims against its executive chairperson, the campaign's coordinator Yusuf Shikhtar.
The matter is still being heard, but we feel confident in South Africa that no court will allow a suppression of freedom of expression, especially now at a time when around June the 16th we fought and died for the Constitution and the constitutional protections that we have.
And South Africa's agri-sector says the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz is a relief following at least 3 months of uncertainty. The waterway in which 20% of global oil and natural gas is shipped was closed following US and Israeli strikes against Iran in late February. The disruption of the Strait of Hormuz triggered a global agricultural crisis by restricting vital supplies of fertilizer and natural gas from the Persian Gulf. US President Donald Trump declared the reopening of the strait on Sunday when he announced that a deal with Iran had been reached to stop the war. Economist Tabile Nkunjana says the reopening of the channel reduces pressure on logistical and supply value chains.
Opening up the Strait of Hormuz is such an important news. And I think that is going to even open up, a lot of the global chains that have been being choked by the war that is happening presently in Iran.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 18 and 19 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 North. This is between Malibongwe Drive and Winnie Mandela Drive. That's due to an accident along this route. There's also queuing traffic reported on the N1 North. This is just as you come out of Olifantsfontein Road.
The top story this hour, the case against alleged crime boss Vusmuzi Ketmatlala will return to the High Court in Johannesburg today.
Breaking news. Motorists are bracing themselves for even more fuel price hikes in June.
Or prepare differently. BYD hybrid vehicles use up to 70% less fuel than normal cars. And BYD fully electric vehicles, no fuel at all. Test drive the brand new BYD Atto 2 DMI plug-in hybrid this June and kiss rising fuel prices goodbye forever. Visit byd.coza or your nearest dealership. BYD, build your dreams.
Joburg, it's time to show up for our city. On Sunday, 26 July, thousands of Joburgers will be walking in the Jozi 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk, proudly partnered by Standard Bank, walking through the heart of Johannesburg, celebrating its rich history, experiencing the exciting growth taking place in the CBD. As a committed partner invested in the future of our city, Standard Bank invites you to be part of a movement to help build a stronger, safer and more vibrant Jozi. Register today and take part in the walk that brings Johannesburg together. The 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk, proudly partnered by Standard Bank.
Elevate your flying experience with Lift Premium. Enjoy even more space, comfort and convenience with priority boarding, extra baggage allowance and complimentary lounge access. Visit lift.co.za today.
Let's hear from Dr. Armand, owner of Monument Dental, why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance.
It was one call and I was covered immediately. We are very happy with the premium we're paying. I wish I did it sooner.
For dentistries, general medical practices and all other businesses, get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Kaelo Lifestyle, a mental wellness and support program for employees and their families, is calling on you to take a step towards better mental health. As the mental wellness partner of 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk, Kaelo is bringing even more purpose to the walk. From checking in with yourself to celebrating connection, every step is designed to support your well-being. So rally your team and walk for mental wellness. Visit primemediaplus.com for more information. Kaelo Lifestyle, changing lives and improving business. On 702, let's walk the talk.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
1702 1702.
Morning, Bongles and Gabazela. Flores from a beautiful Western Cape, talking about motorgates. That's nothing compared to these revolving doors at the mall. I've seen it many a times that people's grocery bags get stuck in those doors. This Saturday, a guy, fully confident and full of himself, walked, and as he was walking, the revolving door caught his grocery bag, and just everything just fell out. You could see how embarrassed he was. So yeah, those revolving doors, I think they have one up against motorgates. Have a good show. Bye-bye.
Good morning, Bongles and the team. It's interesting you mentioning this topic of the gate. So I just bought my coupe cabriolet Merc, and I'm excited to show my friend, rock up at his place. And his mother ended up opening up for me. She comes to stand next to the gate, and as I'm pulling sort of through, halfway through the gate, I obviously looked in front of me, and I just hear croak, and I'm like, oh, cold in my feet. I look around my side mirrors, rear mirror. The mother quickly shoves the keys in her pocket, walks away, and swears and she had heard nothing. And yeah, dent in my back fender, and yeah, my vehicle hasn't gone back to that yard ever since.
I can well imagine. I mean, I had a gate incident, as you may realize, and I've said this on the show many a time. We arrive here quite a lot earlier than when the show actually starts. So you can imagine at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm pulling out of my driveway, and the next thing I hear is a bam, and my gate motor was faulty. And so as you close the gate, when it reaches the other end, it would come back. The gate would come back, and it hit my, right-hand side on the driver's side, but it was this loud, but bang. And yeah, it was a painful experience. Thank goodness for insurance, but yeah, it was one of those. And I walked around with that dent for a little while before it was all solved. Thankfully, that has now been dealt with. Your gate mishap stories from what's gone viral with Kabazel.
EWN Sport.
There's nothing like an unexpected sound that for a few seconds you can't explain. Hey, Cindy Paluta, when you just hear like a dwa, and you just go, what on earth is happening? 4 o'clock in the morning in the dark. But I tell you what, the World Cup is not in the dark. It's all bright lights and action.
Imagine being the goalkeeper, because though it's a very loud stadium, you could actually hear that ball hitting the back
Whizzing
of the
past,
net, and you're just like, oh.
Yeah, no.
It's not loud. Sometimes the silent noise that kills you, Bongani.
Listen, there was a goal yesterday by Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah.
That was probably so far the goal of the tournament, and the goalie would have just probably seen it whizzing past.
Yeah. So this morning, there was a game that was on the go that just finished. Austria finally beating Jordan 3-1. That was the final score. They also had a goal disallowed for VAR for handball. Overnight, Messi, Mbappe and Holland all living up to the hype. They all scored more than one goal in their opening World Cup games. Messi got a hat-trick in Argentina's 3-0 win over Algeria. Mbappe scored twice for France. They beat Senegal 3-1. And 2 goals for Holland on his World Cup debut in Norway's 4-1 win over Iraq. So will Ronaldo be able to do the same tonight? He leads Portugal against DR Congo at 7, followed by England against Croatia at 10. England striker Bukayo Saka feels in better form now since Euro 2024.
I've got a lot more experience and say I'm a much better player also. Yeah, I was still quite young and I hadn't played as much football as I had now and made the mistakes that I've made that I've learned from. So I'd say that'll be my answer.
Bafana's next game is against Czechia tomorrow night. Here's what striker Tepelo Maseko expects from Czechia.
Yeah, I saw their game the other time, the other night. And yeah, they rely heavily on their set pieces. So it's something we must be very cautious on and yeah, try to match the level of physicality that they possess. Yeah.
All right, so I need the official direction from you, Cindy Paluta.
Yeah, bo.
Do we wear our Bafana jerseys on Thursday or Friday or both?
Well, you have to wear it on game day.
All right, so Thursday, definitely.
And then if they win, you wear your second Bafana jersey
on Friday.
Because we all have 2 Bafana jerseys.
Yeah.
Depends how sweaty you get. Proteas women play Pakistan at the T20 Cricket World Cup at 7:30 tonight. Wicketkeeper Sanalo Jafta.
For us as a team, we've got a really long batting lineup. Anyone on any given day can just pick up their hand. When you go to fielding, it's going to take a collective. Our new fielding coach, Duduzi, was all about just having fun out there, because that's the one time you actually get to do something as a team. And for us, it's to just being aggressive in the way we do things and just keep it simple.
Also today, Australia plays Bangladesh, India against Netherlands. The shock yesterday, defending champions New Zealand suffering a successive defeat to Sri Lanka. While successive defeat, they lost to Sri Lanka. The Bulls are playing Leinster on Friday night in the United Rugby Championship final. Bulls fly half Andre Pollard.
We're alive. We're going to the final. It's unbelievable from where we were in December after losing 6 or 7 on the trot. To be here now is pretty special, and I think it says a lot about the character of the team.
So with Pollard out, the Springboks have named Keon Horn at fly half to face the Barbarians this Saturday. Side has 2 debutants in Riley Norton and Carlos Sadi. Kickoff for the Buck game is 3 p.m. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
South Africa, your vote starts with registration.
Register to vote.
This Saturday and Sunday, the 20th and 21st of June. Make sure you're registered to vote or check that your voter registration details are up to date.
To register where they ordinarily reside.
Whether you're registering for the first time or confirming your voting status, visit elections.org.za for everything you need to know. And stay informed with 702, Cape Talk and EWN for the latest updates, analysis and developments throughout the registration weekend. Register, check, be counted.
In fitness, as in finance, endurance is key. If you're 55 and older, you can get an interest rate of up to 10.25% with a Nedbank Electronic Optimum Plus account. Now, feel the earn. Invest within 2 minutes on the Money app and get money fit with Nedbank. See money differently. Nedbank, we're a licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply. For more info, go to nedbank.co.za.
Mavis, I wonder if I should sell my car. I'm not sure where to go.
Wanna sell your car, but don't know what to do. You don't have to go far. We come to you. If you're rolling under 1.5 or a Lacquer 2.2, doesn't matter what you drive, we buy cars once you.
We Buy Cars, the easiest way to sell your car by far.
The XXL Savings Championship is here, and with Checkers, everyone can save. Get deals like Lancewood Cheddar or Gouda cheese, 900 grams for $129.99. Baker's Mini Cheddars or biscuits, 200 grams, any 2 for 75 Rand. And Vaseline body lotion or cream, selected variants, 400 mils for $54.99. Valid until 21 June, only at Checkers.
That's Sia, before he got naked. Sia had a bumper bash and had to reattach his fender using duct tape and a prayer. So Sia got naked. He got comprehensive car insurance in seconds and can now submit claims instantly on the Naked app. No more arts and crafts for you, Sia. Cover your car and home now at naked.insure and see how easy insurance can be when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
EWN Traffic.
Let's wrap up the morning's traffic. Amo, it's been a busy one.
Oh, it has been indeed, Bongani. You can tell most people are back to work today, and of course schools. You can see delays on the N1 South. This is between the Braakfontein Road and the Olifantsfontein Road. Also, there's an accident on Olifantsfontein Road towards the N1 causing delays. And then if you're heading towards Fourways, queuing traffic on the N1 North between the Malibongo Drive exit and Winnie Mandela Drive. And in the east of Joburg, we still have got delays on the N3 North. In fact, bumper-to-bumper traffic between the Geldenhuys Interchange and Modderfontein Road due to roadworks and an accident. More updates at the top of the hour.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Joburg, it's time to show up for our city. On Sunday, 26 July, join thousands of Joburgers for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk in proud partnership with Standard Bank. Walk through the heart of Johannesburg, celebrate its rich history, and experience the positive growth taking place in the CBD. As a committed partner, passionate about the growth of our city, Standard Bank invites you to be part of a movement that's helping build a safer, stronger, and spirited Josie for generations to come. Register now and take the walk that brings Johannesburg together. The 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, proudly partnered by Standard Bank.
Breaking news. Motorists are bracing themselves for even more fuel price hikes in June.
Or prepare differently. BYD hybrid vehicles use up to 70% less fuel than normal cars. And BYD fully electric vehicles, no fuel at all. Test drive the brand new BYD Atto 2 DMI plug-in hybrid this June and kiss rising fuel prices goodbye forever. Visit byd.coza or your nearest dealership. BYD, build your dreams.
At Specsavers, we're committed to offering affordable and professional eye care. That's why we're offering 1,500 Rand worth of savings with our winter promotion. Get a free frame up to the value of 1,500 Rand or use the 1,500 Rand on one of our leading vision enhancements, like Climate Eyes, which automatically adapts to changing light. To qualify, simply purchase a comprehensive eye examination and prescription frame and lenses. Affordable eye care, Specsavers. T's and C's apply.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
All right, coming up, the Clement Manyatela Show between 9 and 12. Clement out for the day. It's the return of the Tabo. Tabo Shalom Mashal, good morning.
Morning, Bongles. Always great to see you, and good morning to the wonderful
You have to
listeners.
answer our question from earlier in the day.
Yeah.
Who would you be most nervous, even afraid, to give unrestricted access to your phone?
Gosh.
Family members?
Family members, definitely. I suppose my loved ones, because there's a lot that's taking place.
What's going on there by your DMs?
You don't want to know.
What's going on there by your DMs? All right, what's on the show this morning?
Yeah, we have Katla Khomabwe who'll be here at 10:30. We're looking at all things World Cup. South Africa's chances, how the World Cup is going, the economy of the World Cup and everything else, Bongles. And between just after 11 o'clock, we'll be looking at the listener's choice and our relationship to AI. Some people use AI for school assignments, legal advice, medical help. It's so close to our lives now and almost impossible to think of living without it.
There's an interesting piece in the Business Day you might want to have a look at.
Yeah.
And it talks about media organizations and how many of them have no policies regarding the use of AI. And I think it's worth a look that'll inform part of your discussion.
I'll do that, but very quickly, you'd be shocked how many articles without mentioning any publication are written by AI or AI. No, definitely, because I don't want to mention names, but certain journalists would just write whatever and then input into the AI and then submit the story. It's very, very interesting that you should have said that. But we won't mention any names. We'll be chatting about that a little bit later on. 9 to 10, open line, always controversial and always gets me into trouble whenever I do the open line. But this time around, Bongles, 10% of young people in the country.
I saw that.
It is said that only 10% have access to the credit facilities. They are credit-worthy, only 10% of young people. So we'll be asking you, are you one of those? And if not, how are you getting by? What's your credit score like? And what is it hindering you from achieving economically as a young person? All that between 9 and 12.
All right. Clement Manyatela Show on 702.
Let's count backward. 5. Insurance. 4. Pineapple. 3. Insurance. 2. Pineapple. 1. You're under. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Every great business starts with a problem, one you may have experienced yourself. Nedbank Business Ignite 2026 is looking for entrepreneurs who've turned pain into purpose, built solutions that truly make a difference. If your business is generating between 1 and 20 million Rand, you could get the funding, mentorship, and support you need to grow with Nedbank as your partner. And you can get access to Simply Biz to help you scale sustainably. So if you're solving real problems and are ready to take your business further, visit igniteyourbusiness.co.za or primemediaplus.com and enter today.
It's time to get revved up.
The Motor Select Rev Up sale is on, and we've got thousands of quality pre-owned vehicles at unbeatable prices. That's everything from city cars to 4x4s. Offer ends 30 June. So get to motorselect.co.za now.
The 702, Josie My Josie, Walk the Talk is calling on you to walk with the people, for the people, Sunday, 26 July. You want to get a taste of what the Walk the Talk will be like? Well, you have a chance. This Sunday, Josie My Josie is having another Main Street Sundays, taking over Marshalltown, flipping the script on how Josie moves. So, a whole street in the heart of the city, close to cars, just people and vibes, and that Main Street magic. And 702 Soulful Sunday with Kenny and Pushaza will also be there broadcasting live from Main Street Sundays, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can go to josiemyjosie.com for all the details and to grab your free tickets. Let's show the city what happens when the streets belong to the people.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
And continuing with that theme, of course, Joburg getting ready to move. Quite literally, this is the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk. And one of the concerns for some of the walkers will be how to make all of this happen in terms of mobility and transport. And I'm pleased to tell you, this year, the Gautrain Management Agency is officially the mobility partner of the event. And that means transport to and into the city is being made a little easier. So on the day, the Gautrain will offer free return trips from any station to park station, with the exception, of course, of OR Tambo. So you can park your vehicle at your nearest Gautrain station, then take the train into the city and get back again at no cost. And, of course, from Park Station will also be moved with Prasa trains to make sure we get to Ellis Park itself. Tsepo Hope is the CEO of Gautrain Management Agency, joins us now on the line. A very good morning to you, Tsepo, and welcome to 702 Breakfast.
Morning, Bongani, and thank you for having me.
All right, it's a very exciting development, the Gautrain coming on board as the mobility partner for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk.
Yes, Bongani, and thank you for the question. I think we've managed to actually realize that a lot of events are not attended by people, especially in the inner city, because they're more worried about the parking their car and what happens when they get to the event. And for us, it's about also decongesting the city and making sure that we take cars out of events. And the day I see a car-free event, that will be the day I'll be the happiest man in the world.
Your job will be done here, right? I mean, that was the whole point of the Gautrain, essentially. All right, take us through the day, what's on offer, how will this free travel and access actually work in practice?
So part of the process is for people to be able to make sure that when they register for the Walk the Talk, they also make sure that they also tick the link that says they will be able to access the Gautrain. We've got 13,000 parking bays. And on a Sunday probably, or on that particular day, we're only using about 1,000 or 2,000 of those, and those become available to everybody. And then in turn, people will take the train all the way to Park, and when they get to Park, they will be guided through Park Station to then take the Prasa train, which will land them right in front of Ellis Park, and therefore there is no hassle, there isn't any worry about where your car is parked. It will park in the one place in the Gauteng where you will always find it when you come back, in the Gautrain.
All right. I mean, I don't know if you know this, Tsepo, but I was with Jack van der Merwe many, many years ago when the blasting of, when you were joining Rosebank and Sandton stations, when that blasting opened up those tunnels because they came from both ends. And looking back now, it's been more than a decade of the Gautrain, 16 years to be exact. It's amazing where the time goes. How do you assess the Gautrain's performance today? Is it still delivering on its original promise?
It is still delivering on its original promise. Remember, originally it was actually an economic development project, and I think sometimes we do forget that it was intended to be an economic development project. And if you look at a lot of the buildings that are now standing in Sandton, these glass buildings that are standing in Sandton, all of them, the occupancy there gets sold on the basis of their proximity to the Gautrain station. And getting in and out of Sandton, you know better, in the morning and in the evenings becomes a nightmare if you're not using the Gautrain. And if you go to Rosebank now is one of the hottest properties that you could ever be looking at. And in essence, it is continuing to deliver on that mandate. Now what we need to do is we have to be intentional about it and make sure that the next decade we actually make sure that the development that is supposed to happen around our stations does happen and driven by us directly as the management agency.
We've been hearing about, there's been this long-standing talk of expansion. Where are we in terms of those plans?
So the extensions themselves, because the two terms are used differently by us. So the expansion is more work that we do internally on the current system, but the extensions are actually, so the Soweto line is up to be built going all the way to Jabulani. The feasibility is done. We are just now waiting for a Treasury approval one, as what they call it, as it was originally as a feasibility. We looked at it as more a PPP than anything else. So we're in the middle of finalizing a lot of the issues with the Treasury approval one, and the questions that are being asked by Treasury, we've answered them, and therefore we are almost there.
Does that then go a long way in dealing with the criticism that Gautrain still services a narrow commuter base?
We've gone beyond that, I think so, Bongani. Remember, we've launched that lever mover, which makes sure that anybody who earns less than 350,000 rands a year can actually access 50% discounts on the system. Senior citizens are the same. Scholars and students get 50%, and also people living with disabilities they get 50% on the Gautrain, and that's all about us making sure that we will remain an aspirational product, but we will make sure that we become inclusive,
bringing people along, as it were. What comes next for the Gautrain in terms of growth or even innovation?
I think we will have to look at how we actually make sure that our product is spruced up, and we bring on technology, make sure that there's an ability for you to charge your phone on the train. There's the ability for you to access Wi-Fi while you are on the train. But making the stations better and making sure that the technology that you've always loved is improved and it's given a better life, and it looks forward to the next 10 years.
Tsepo, a naughty question. Are you in the car right now or the Gautrain?
I'm right in front of your office. I am right in front of your office now. I am just here outside, so I just managed to arrive.
I appreciate your time, CEO of the Gautrain Management Agency. They, of course, are the mobility partner of the 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk. So no worries. Sunday, 26 July. Just get yourself to a Gautrain station, and unless you are at OR Tambo, it will be free for you all the way to Park Station. And of course, there'll be a feeder train, one of the Prasa trains that'll take you directly to Ellis Park. It's going to be a great vibe. It's going to be great fun. Have you been to primemediaplus.com to register?
702 podcasts are on 702.co.za.
It's 9 o'clock. The Clement Mangatela Show starts now.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The High Court in Johannesburg is set to hear arguments in the MK Party's case in the 2024 national and provincial elections. Although more than 2 years has passed since the general elections, the party continues with its bid to have the results set aside. The IEC is opposing the application, maintaining that there were no irregularities. Alfara Mushwana reports.
The IEC's election results dashboard experienced a technical glitch following the May 29, 2024 elections, causing it to go offline for about an hour. The MK Party has based its legal challenge on this incident, arguing that the vote rigging took place while the dashboard was down. The party claims that nearly 9 million votes were unaccounted for and maintains that it should have won the elections outright. However, the IEC continues to insist that the 2024 general elections were free and fair. MK Party supporters are expected to picket outside the court in Johannesburg CBD today. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
A new witness is set to testify at the Madlanga Commission today as proceedings resume this morning. The Commission has been hearing evidence on the 2021 drug bust where more than 700 kilograms of cocaine was seized in the south of Johannesburg. Evidence suggests that some police officers who were present at the scene may have broken the law. Khomotso Modise reports.
Over the last few weeks, the Madlanga Commission has been hearing evidence about the Ayrton drug bust where cocaine with a street value of about 300 million rand was seized. The Commission has questioned several